Everybody, welcome in, welcome in. Welcome everybody to the stream. Okay. How is everybody doing? Welcome to Streams of Collective Consciousness. I'm Ellie, and today we're talking about sustainable fashion, environmentalism, and pop culture things. I'm really, really excited. I'll be here for 3 hours. I was here from 4 to 7 Central Time. Armani sadly has died. There has been rumors that Luigi, with the help of AI, has been used in a Shein ad. How they thought that was a good idea, I do not know. And there has been other updates with Vogue USA. There's a new Nepo baby as a editor, so we'll get into that. And there's a lot more happening. There has been some sketchy labor practices found in Kmart. I didn't even know Kmart was still existing, and much more that I can't recall right now. But I'm so excited to jump on this Friday. It is kind of a surprise stream. I don't typically stream on Fridays anymore. I used to, but not anymore. I was unfortunately not able to jump on yesterday, my typical Thursday stream schedule from 4 to 7 p.m. Central Time on Thursday, because I had only gotten 4 hours of sleep. And that's a whole story that I'm going to get into. I'll explain that. But first, let me check the audio. Let's see. Sorry, my face is all close to the... 4 hours of sleep. That's a whole story. That's a whole story. It sounds so weird when I listen to myself again back. I hate my voice, but at least you get to listen to it. I don't need to listen to my own voice. That's why I love streaming. I don't have to listen to my own voice. Isn't that great? But yeah, there's a lot of sustainable fashion news that I want to get into. It's going to be a pretty chill live stream compared to my typical, like, quote unquote news chats, but I'll be looking through a bunch of stuff. I do use this Canva deck. I call my streams of collective consciousness. This date should be today, but I was supposed to stream tomorrow. But I'm a type A personality. I like to have a plan. I never leave my destiny up to fate. I feel like I create my fate, you know? So what we're going to do today, how life is going to play out today, is I'm going to start off casually. I am a bit late, but we'll get into the sustainable fashion news immediately, ASAP. I am going to take a short break because I am feeling pretty fatigued. And then we're going to talk about like other positive news, like pop culture events. But yeah, typically 4 to 7 p.m. Central Time is how it functions. And if you ever want me to talk about something, I do have this form in my description. And I also have this Canva slide deck in my description as well. So let's say you just want to listen to the news or like know what the news is without having to, jump on my stream. This is a free resource, so always be there. Even before I go live, like this link is already there. I don't know if people have like actually looked for it or actually like taken a look at it. I haven't checked, but this is always a free resource. I never delete it. I literally make one of these for every live stream, and my Canva account is just filled with like these slide decks. And hopefully it can be like a portfolio, you can say, or just something that people actually use in the future. Like, I don't really make any money off of these things. I don't benefit from making these slides. But I think it just works out in the long run that I do this, that I keep doing this, because it keeps my thoughts organized during my live streams. And then this is just a good resource for anyone else that just wants to like quickly know like the top headlines and stuff. So it kind of is a plus for everyone involved. And when I go back and like do my tweets later on this week, I actually look at this and then I kind of like decide what I want to tweet. So yeah, it's such a great resource. I always use it, and then I like the photos that I keep, and then I use it for thumbnails and all this other stuff. So it's a really good value for me. I like it. I like hoarding sustainable fashion news. I'm just a nerd for fashion, basically. But before we get into what's happening in the industry, personal updates. So I am a bit late because I was eating food. I just got home from work. I work as a receptionist for a alleged business. I'm not going to specify what exactly I do or how many hours I work, except that it's minimum wage and it's less than, I don't know, 35 hours. It's just part time, you know? Like most people that work part time don't work more than 35 hours, 30 hours. But I work way less than that. So I'm not even earning a lot. It's just emergency money because I literally didn't have anything in my bank account. Like, I'm not lying when I say I don't have any money. Like, if you look up the definition of broke, like, I'm broke. So I was at work. Today had allegedly a sale of one of their alleged products, and I allegedly had to sit there and sign them up for it. And we made much more than I'll ever earn there in like 2.5 months. And my plan is to be there for like 3 more months. If everything works out logistically, intellectually, spiritually, mentally, manifestly, I will be there for like 3 more months, unless I find another job, which most likely I will. But today was chaos. I made a lot more money than I can ever possibly dream of making in one day. It's what I would make in like 2-ish months working there. That's how little they pay me. Got my check today. That was not good news for me. That was not enough numbers. I thought it was going to be in like the thousands. I thought it was going to be like $1,000 check. It was half of that. And I felt like I worked forever. I feel like my August was horrendous because of the hours I had to put in. But today was like an especially busy day because it was the last day of the alleged sale. So guess who's exhausted today? But again, I was going to film this live stream yesterday, and I still want to talk about the news. There's so much interesting things that I want to do and say. So I jumped on, and I just can't let capitalism beat me down. I can't let the grind beat me down. Like, no one is alive to work part-time minimum wage at an alleged business that makes more than you'll ever dream of. So I'm gonna keep doing what I need to do to, make it, because it's wholly unfair that a lot of businesses are getting away with their practices, and this is a allegedly government-funded business who still makes money. It's for profit. It's not a non-profit, like they make money. So I don't know how the logistics works, how they like include revenue with funding from the government, but they make more than enough, I think, to pay more than $15 an hour, allegedly, Um, I accidentally signed into a Canva thing on their work computers so that the name of what I do is accessible. So I feel like I got leaked in my job, which is my mistake. It's just I was trying to like use the Canva to work on my slide deck yesterday, and I can't completely sign out. Like it still says my Gmail on there, so um it's a bad move on my part because it gives them more clues of who I am. But yeah, that's what's happening in my personal news. I am a bit tired, but I don't feel too exhausted. But it is a Friday. I had seen there was a Serena Quintanilla, I think her last name is pronounced Quintanilla. She's a famous singer, Selena. And they had like a tribute concert for her today. And I just discovered this a couple hours ago. But like, no way in hell am I ever going to just drive down to Chicago on a Friday to go to a concert that I didn't know about. I'm not that spontaneous. Like, I'm the opposite of spontaneous. Like, I'm an ultra thinker, ultra planner. Like, if you want me to get out of my house, it literally takes like a 5 to 10 day business practice of like convincing me to go. Unless I'm the one that's planning it, unless I'm the one that's like, hey, let's go do this. It's gonna take a lot of convincing for me to do something for you. Especially okay, I think maybe it sounds mean because it sounds like I'm unavailable all the time. But listen, if I spent the last 7 years volunteering for free and no one actually cared about me at the end of that journey, I am fully justified to be like, no, I don't want to go to this. Like, I'm learning boundaries after being left very broke and very desolate in midst of my journey in helping others. So I'm in my villain era right now. I've been making it very clear with everyone in my life. Like, if you need something, it's most likely going to be a no. If I'm in my room, do not bother me. If I'm doing something, do not disrupt it. Like, I just don't have any space to like accommodate others. So it's like I'll think about it for 5 to 10 business days, but most likely you'll get a no from me. Like, I'm very selective with who I surround myself with and like what I do. I'm in recovery. I'm recovery from trauma. I'm volunteering for so many years, but that's who I am. Like, I've been always very honest that I'm just going through what I'm going through, and if the people that know me who have been implicated in my trauma in the past 7 years, they know what they did, and I don't need to explain it further than that. But I think they understand the damage that they did. But I'm still very passionate about what I do, and I would love these live streams to be a positive place. So, in an effort to move on, like I do want to spread more positive solutions in the industry. Like, I've always been very passionate about that. Like, I'm so excited for my YouTube, and hopefully you're excited for what I'm doing on my YouTube. In terms of like fashion design, that's what I'm going to be doing. It's used to be okay. So for my YouTube, it used to be like a lot of critical thinking thought pieces or like video essays, and then I just started to feel like I was preaching, and I don't like to preach, and I just like to have a bit more fun and creativity. And as a kid, I used to always do fashion design related projects. Like, you'd always see me messing with the fabrics. I'd be fixing things here and there, like doing random projects. I made a paper dress out of fun for no reason. Like, that's just who I've been. And I think it's just like a matter of going back to that and not being what everyone else wants me to be. So that's going to be a change for my YouTube. That's what's keeping me busy. That's the delay on the YouTube uploads. But yeah. Oh, also, this is an axolotl. I love axolotls. I like the idea of that if I become successful in any way, I can help maybe towards the conservation of these poor animals who are basically suffering from invasive species in Mexico because they're native to Mexico. Oh, I got the weirdest comment from a lady from my alleged job saying that I sounded so beautiful speaking Spanish. And I don't know if she like genuinely meant it, because she's never been nice to me before then. She's always giving me nasty looks. I didn't know if I could trust the energy that she was giving me, but I'm like, okay, so I'm like the only allegedly Latina in that alleged job that knows how to speak Spanish. I think that was one of the main reasons why they hired me. And she just came up to me out of nowhere and was like, "Oh my God, your Spanish sounds so beautiful." Because I'm Mexican American. But I don't think she realized, because I was like, "Oh, well, I'm kind of forced to speak it." Like, I didn't even know if it sounded decent, because sometimes I don't even know what I'm saying half the time in Spanish. Like, I was raised with the language. Like, I was forced to speak it, not because I wanted to, like I had to, it wasn't a choice. She's like, "Oh, you sound so beautiful." I'm like, "Lady, you've told me this like 4 times. Like, what do you want?" I'm very distrustful people. I think I've just gone through too much for too long. But all the other days, all the other months, she just did not talk to me. She was just ignoring me the whole time. I would be the one to initiate and be like, "Hi." Like, in real life, I act like a golden retriever. Like, I act super friendly, super relatable. Like, I don't try to be me in any circumstance. Like, I'm way too polite, I think you can say. But she's like the black cat in public. Like, she's me, but in private. Like, I act like her when I'm in private. Like, I don't want to talk to no one. So she hadn't been talking to me. She wasn't like initiating. She just kind of gave me looks. I was like, I don't know what's going on with her. But today she started talking to me. I don't know if it took her a month to trust me or just the Spanish triggered something, but I was like looking at her weird. But that was my experience today at my job. And I'm exhausted from the minimum wage grind. I don't know how people expect others to survive off of $15 an hour. I really don't. It like blows my mind. I was getting ready today at 6 in the morning. I'm getting ready at 6 in the morning, and I'm like, oh, I'm only gonna make $15 an hour. That's crazy. The economy sucks right now, but I mean, I'm not surprised. Like, there's exploitation everywhere. There's so many things wrong with the country right now. But one of the things that I'm kind of looking at as inspiration and, like, I guess joy in midst of my personal misery at work is secondhand September. This is a term that people use to describe like a challenge or a pledge where they basically care about secondhand fashion more intentionally during this month. And it can be a really thoughtful time for a lot of consumers who don't typically think about this topic. And they can maybe create content out of it. They can think about it on social media. They can make YouTube videos. They can post on TikTok, or they can tell their friends to like go shop at a thrift store out of the ethos of like, oh, it's secondhand September. So I feel like it's such a great time to like care about this topic right now because everyone else is caring about this. And like typically when everyone else is talking about something, like you want to join the bandwagon, like you just want to join, you know. So this is a perfect time to join if you haven't really joined, if you're kind of curious. Like there's a lot of people that actually care about this that otherwise is not that obvious in real life. Like most of us are not really saying, oh my god, I care about the issues in the fashion industry and I care about secondhand fashion out of my morals, and oh my god, have you heard what's happening in Bangladesh? And like that's not a normal conversation, you know. So let's go ahead and watch this video by is her last name Lolita, or is that the brand? Let me see. But let's see this creator, Dodo the Extinct. She made this video 4 years ago. So this topic, this theme has been around for quite a while now. I saw some videos from like 5 years ago about this topic. So let's go ahead and watch her favorite secondhand Lolita dresses. So Lolita is a brand. I don't know this content creator. I just really liked their vibe when I clicked on it for like the 5 seconds I was looking for people who did content on secondhand September. Hopefully it's in English. Let's see. I love her aesthetic. Like, this is so cool. The Sailor Moon-ish sort of vibe, but make it academia. She has some kawaii. I love it.
I'm going to showcase a few of my wardrobe pieces that I purchased secondhand and talk you through the stories behind them along with some detail shots. So I wanted to create this video to honor Secondhand September, which is a Twitter hashtag that encourages purchasing secondhand to reduce waste, as well as giving new life to old things. Before we get started, I wanted to give some background information as to why I'm participating in Secondhand September and sharing its message. So around 2 years ago, I started to become more conscious of the items that I bring into my home because of a particular book. And I'm sure everyone and their mothers have read this book. It is The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. I was inspired to follow through with her particular method of cleaning and organization. The key question that you ask if you should keep an item is, does this spark joy? And I quickly came to realize that I love Lolita fashion. And I couldn't easily part with any of my Lolita pieces because of the memories that were attached to them and the joy and thrill every time I wore a coordinate or even looked at it. To me, all my Lolita items have a story behind them. They've also been exchanged through so many hands, from the designer's dreams and sketches, to the fabric manufacturers, to the seamstresses who sew the items together, to the shippers who take it to the store, to the shop staff who puts it out on a rack, to the stares and touches of customers in the store itself, until it finally reaches me here, in Canada, in my wardrobe. Lolita clothes aren't just clothes. They represent the hard work and dedication of so many people, and they allow me to express myself. So let's get started with the few secondhand dresses that I've picked for this video to showcase. This first dress is from Metamorphose Tom's Defeat, and it is the kimono print crossover front pinafore. This dress was released in 2013, and I purchased this dress from Closet Child in 2018 when I went to Japan. I spent only 4,400 yen on this dress. It's one of the best deals that I've ever gotten from Closet Child. I absolutely adore this dress. The pattern on the dress makes it look quite vintage, especially with the color schemes, but there is a subtle gold shine throughout this dress if you look very, very closely. The back is fully sheared, so it is one of the most comfortable dresses that I have in my wardrobe, and I adore this dress because of a very significant memory I have attached with it. One of the Lolita friends I met in Japan actually has this dress, and we distance twinned it a while back. Seeing this dress reminds me of her and the moments that we shared together in Japan.
Why is this video so wholesome? I just can't like help but say that. Like this just is just the cutest thing ever. Oh, can I have a wardrobe best friend that sends pics of us wearing the same thing but in different countries? That'd be so cute.
So despite the fact that this dress doesn't match anything in my wardrobe, nor does it help with my wardrobe cohesion, I still can't bring myself to sell it because of the memories that I have attached to this dress. And it's definitely one of my favorites, even though I don't wear it as often as I should. Next up is Angelic Pretty's Royal Unicorn, specifically the OP in Saxe. The Royal Unicorn series was released in 2013, but I actually did not acquire this particular dress until 2018 from Wonderwelt. For those of you who have purchased or are actively searching for Royal Unicorn, you will know that this Saxe colorway is very...
The way that she knows the lore of every item and how it's like deeply entrenched in like her identity, like she clearly knows like where this is coming from, how it's made, the color, the type. I mean, she did mess up a bit with the titling or like the labeling of this one, but like for most of them she like really knows what's going on. To like even analyze the texture, oh my gosh, she loves the brand. I've never heard of Lolita before. Maybe is it Japanese? I'm not quite aware of where she's buying these from. Release year 2014, purchase year 2016. That's like a next level of like tracking stuff. Imagine if Shein's like, yeah, we released this in 2012, and the bury date of it, like when everything was buried, was like 4 weeks later. And when I say buried, it's like being sent to a landfill and like literally covered with soil. Oh, she loves her fashion.
On this dress. It is absolutely gorgeous, and I have such amazing memories in this dress as well. This is one of my go-to dresses when I go to conventions because of how OTT it is, and my most favorite place that
I think there's a ghost in my room. Why did my lamp just fall? And my clothing just fell too. Is there a ghost in here? That was definitely weird. Oh my gosh. Let's just carry on.
I wore this was in Japan. I was able to attend baby's 30th anniversary tea party wearing this dress. So I have so many associations with this dress that it's another one that I cannot bear to sell or part with. And I know that there is still some more amazing memories that I can make with this dress, and I can't wait to see where this dress will go with me. So those are 3 specific secondhand dresses that I wanted to talk about. I have a few more secondhand pieces, but I think this video is long enough as it is, so I'm going to stop there. Let me know if you're interested in hearing me talk about...
Oh, I love that. I wish more people made content like this, and this was released 2020, so it's actually been 5 years since she made this video. So the topic has been around for a while. Oh. Her video seems so wholesome and like fun and cute. She didn't do a secondhand September video this month. I mean, it's just the 5th today, but let's subscribe. See, but I love this moment. I love participating in this, so you should definitely join if you haven't already. Especially in midst of like everything else that's happening in the fashion industry, and there's so much changes to come. Like for example, recently Armani sadly has gone from this earth. I have heard a lot from this designer. We actually had to study him when I was in fashion design school, and he sadly passed away at 91 years old. I'm sure everyone who loves fashion or is remotely interested in luxury fashion has heard his name. And he's had a legacy that I don't think a lot of people can ever really match. He's been in the industry for so long, he's done so many pieces and has been around so many people that I think it's undeniable that he has truly shaped the industry for what it is today. Um, let's see what CNN Style had to say for his passing away. I'm sure that there is going to be celebrations of some sort or some honorary event. I wouldn't be surprised if there is, you know?
Italian fashion designer Giorgio Armani has died at the age of 91. The Armani deep emotion. We
Oh,
feel the void left by the
wait, wait,
one
wait,
who
wait, wait,
found.
wait, 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 Joe. Wait, though, give it a minute. Give it a minute. Sorry, guys. Um, I pressed a button and it derailed my plan. It derailed my plan. What is it?
Italian fashion designer Giorgio Armani has died at the age of 91, the Armani Group announced on Thursday. The designer is credited over his decades of practice with curating a quintessentially Italian aesthetic in his clothes, as well as taking Hollywood's red carpets to new heights. Il Signor Armani, as he was always respectfully and admiringly called by employees and collaborators, passed away peacefully, surrounded by his loved ones, the Armani Group said in a statement, describing the founder as a tireless driving force. In this company, we have always felt like part of a family, read a statement provided by the brand on behalf of his family and employees. Today, with deep emotion, we feel the void left by the one who founded and nurtured this family with vision, passion, and dedication. But it is precisely in his spirit that we, the employees and the family members who have always worked alongside Mr. Armani, commit to protecting what he built and to carrying his company forward in his memory with respect, responsibility, and love. In June 2025, Armani was not present to take his usual bow at the brand's show during Milan's Men's Fashion Week, marking the first time in his career he had missed his own runway event. At the time, the company released a statement that he was currently recovering at home without specifying his health condition.
So it seemed like there was just a lot of major things happening by June. Wow, he couldn't even attend his last Milan's Men's Fashion Week. This was in 1980. I was not even born yet. I was born in 1997. Wow. He was
In
alive
the
back
current
then.
luxury landscape, which is dominated by conglomerates such as Louis Vuitton owner LVMH and Gucci parent company Kering, Armani was one of the few designers to remain the sole shareholder of his company. As of yet, there is no obvious heir to the Armani business, which in 2024 was valued by analysts at Bloomberg Intelligence between 8 to 10 billion euros, $9.3 billion to $11.7 billion. A string of celebrations for Armani's 50th year in business have been planned to take place during Milan Fashion Week this month, including the unveiling of an exhibition at the Pinacoteca di Brera, the first at the museum to be dedicated to fashion, and a runway show at Palazzo Brera. Giorgio Armani, a star-studded legacy.
So he was born in 1934 in a northern Italian town of Piacenza. Armani didn't show a professional interest in fashion until 1957. So how old was he? He was 23? Yeah, he was 23. After studying medicine and then a stint in the military, he got a job as a window dresser at the historic La Rinascente department store in Milan, which started his association with Italian fashion. And then in 1964, a designer Nino Ceruti took a chance on Armani, who was by then a buyer at La Rinascente. gave him a job designing menswear. It was here that he first learned about unstructured jackets, suit jackets with the traditional lining and stiff padding removed to accentuate the wearer's body, which he would later perfect and become famous for. So it's 1964 that he officially started his career, you can say, in fashion design, even though he was already a buyer in a department store. But like as a fashion designer, he was literally 30 years old. Can you imagine? He literally started his fashion design career at 30. Wow, that kind of makes me feel better. While working for him, Armani met another person, Sergio, who was an architect that became his life and business partner. And then that person persuaded Armani to set up his own business, and the two later founded the brand Giorgio Armani in 1975. So by 1975, he was like 40, what is it? 41 years old? It's like 41 years old. He was 41 years old when he started the brand Giorgio Armani. That's like almost half of his life gone already. And their first menswear collection was successful in the US, and it was stocked at Barney's in 1976. That's a lot of progress for 1 year. Then the department store even produced a TV commercial introducing Armani to American shoppers. But then, Barney's shut down in 2020, filing for bankruptcy. Well, that's kind of depressing to read. And then they had women's collections, and then they started debuting androgynous looks. And his jackets is what earned his attention in Hollywood. In 1980, Richard Gere famously wore an Armani suit. Who decided to put Anne and Armani together in one sentence? You really think we can pronounce this without stuttering? An Armani suit and American gigolo. That sentence is crazy to read. Okay. I didn't realize that he was just so late in the game. Like at 40, if you barely start your first fashion brand at 40, I feel like a lot of us would be like, well, it's not going to become that big because I'm already so old. And like if I had my start at like 30, you kind of feel like it's too late, you know? But he kept going. His partner died in 1985 by AIDS. Oh. But yeah, he's expanded so well. He was a billionaire by the death of it. Very interesting. He even bought a basketball team? Why was he buying basketball teams for? So, I'm not really a fan, to be honest. I don't know too much to comment, except, it's obviously sad that a person passed away, especially if he was so beloved. Like, maybe he did something right for the industry. But again, I don't know much about him. I do wish he's in a better place. I'm sad that he wasn't able to go to his last, show that he, I guess, contributed to. Because of health issues. But to be at it for so long, imagine all the skills and all the passion that went with him. At 91 though, if you're still working at 91, you're built different. I couldn't imagine myself working at 91. And this interview was 13 years ago and he was still at it. He must have been what's 91 minus 13? 80 something? Or close to it? 78? Like, dang.
We can say hello to Camille Knight. He joins me in the studio. Hi, Camille. Hi. So one of our top stories, you're returning to one of our top stories, the death of legendary Italian designer Giorgio Armani. As well as being an iconic fashion designer, he was, of course, the head of a multi-billion-dollar business empire.
That's right. Giorgio Armani will be remembered for a number of things, of course, but one of them is that, unlike most of fashion businesses, he never sold even a part of his company to an outsider. He was both the CEO and sole shareholder of the company that reported a revenue of more than $2 billion in 2024. And over the years, the group received several approaches from several potential investors, but Armani always ruled out any potential deal. In fact, to ensure Armani retained its independence after his passing, he even set up a foundation in 2016 to make sure the company wouldn't be broken up. Luke Schrager has more on how he built his empire.
Giorgio Armani wasn't just a fashion icon, he was a shrewd businessman too, and his deft style both in couture and the boardroom made the brand what it became.
He changed the way that the world dresses, especially the way we consider tailoring and suiting, but also as a businessman with a huge empire that he started by selling his Beetle car. It's a fairy tale story, which also speaks of a lot of hard work, graft, foresight, and being a visionary.
From early beginnings, striking out independently in 1975, Armani gained a boost thanks to introducing his designs to a mass audience through Hollywood in 1980 and began building what would become an empire worth over 10.3 billion euros. He prioritised long-term sustainability over short-term profit and avoided risk through diversity, expanding from fashion to accessories, fragrances, home decor and hotels. He also maintained the brand's sense of exclusivity by avoiding social media frenzies and constant celebrity endorsements. But the one thing that kept his company on course was his refusal to allow anyone else to take control. Unlike all too many other fashion houses, Armani never sold out to luxury conglomerates or investors.
It's an exploitation of the work of so many years. I wouldn't want to see all that ground down only so whoever gains from it. And then what happens to my business?
That preoccupation lasted Armani's entire life, to the point he established a charity foundation to safeguard the business against future takeovers, a move that will likely ensure his empire will remain independent following his death.
Now, in other news, Thursday was a crucial step in Donald Trump's efforts to reshape the Federal Reserve. His Fed...
All right. Why include that news when we're doing something else? Okay, so we're gonna take a look at this and then we're gonna move on. All right.
We're being told that the fashion designer Giorgio Armani has died at the age of 91. Very much an icon in the fashion industry, of course. First started designing back in the 1960s. He started as a window dresser and a sales clerk at Rinascente in Milan. In 1957 went on to work in the Nino Cerruti company where he first designed menswear, but of course very much influential in many different ways. He was someone who was credited with pioneering red carpet fashion. He was the first to ban skinny models, the first to focus on body mass index of his youngest models, first to broadcast his collections on internet in January 2007, and someone who was very much a friend of the stars. You might remember back in the film The American Gigolo, he dressed Richard Gere, he's dressed Lady Gaga, he's dressed many of some of the biggest faces, biggest celebrities in the world. And our correspondent Charlotte Gallagher has been taking a look back at his life.
Giorgio Armani at work, a one-man global brand combining chic design and Hollywood glamour.
Armani's my best friend.
No, he's my best friend.
But his childhood was dominated by poverty and war. Food was scarce in 1930s Italy. Friends were killed by bombs. He trained as a doctor and joined the army, but quit to work at a department store in Milan, tearing out the stiff padding in men's suits, introducing softer fabrics and sophisticated tailoring.
Siamo al dunque, abbiamo la sfilata. Soprattutto ricordatevi di portare I vestiti come se fossero solamente vostri.
In 1980 came American Gigolo, Richard Gere dressing head to foot in Armani. The film was the beginning of a mutual love affair with Hollywood, on screen and on the red carpet.
Mr. Armani designed it, and it's really tight, and it's really beautiful.
I'm not,
real like show-offy kind of guy, but I do want people to pay attention to him. And I think spiritually, he makes things that allow me to feel that joy.
Armani fitted stars like Samuel L. Jackson in his store on Beverly Hills and had a plaque on its Walk of Style. Hollywood was useful advertising. In the 1980s, he launched Emporio Armani, this time revolutionizing women's fashion. His sleek suits were seen as a confident, professional image for the modern workplace.
E fu allora che mi resi conto che la ricerca di un certo tipo di donna era di avere un modo di vestire a disposizione come aveva l'uomo, e cioè una giacca decostruita, non impettita, una giacca che potesse permettere di muoversi con molta disinvoltura e usarla come una seconda pelle.
He branched out into jeans, sportswear, perfume and street fashion. It made him rich. But for some, exhibitions at the Guggenheim in New York and London's Royal Academy suggested that Giorgio Armani transcended the world of mere design and entered the realm of art.
Giorgio Armani, who has died at the age of 91, born in 1934, someone who's had such an enormous influence on world fashion. Just to think that by 2000...
Okay, all right. Well, it's kind of sad that that happened. I mean, he was going on and on for a long time, but I mean, it seems like he stuck to his values. He never sold, and to have a charitable aspect to it, so it ensures independence from greedy shareholders, I think is a true testament to what he really believed, and he never strayed away from it. I was not aware of this, but the thing is, it's like, okay, so like the thing is, like, Armani is like a luxury brand, and they had values of like keeping it, you know, a private business, only he owned it, right? So the thing is, like, how ethical is it for someone to become so rich when everyone else is so poor? I mean, you don't have to share your wealth, but he did have some charitable aspects to it. But it seemed like it was merely to protect the business, not to, I guess, truly help people in an inherent way or like in a genuine way. So I do wonder what is going to happen to all his money, what is going to happen to his brand. And like, he did design more casual jackets. He kind of redefined fashion from what it was in this generation. And they were even saying like, oh, his clothing is like art. And when you look at sustainable fashion and its ethos, one of the main things is like to stop seeing fashion as disposable and more as an art form. So he very well could be described as like a sustainable fashion leader if he essentially created the legacy of creating fashion that's like art. So major props for him for making the world of fashion a bit more beautiful and artful. But I do wonder like how he actually made the clothing, whether he used artisans, the labor conditions, how he treated the models. Did he give them contracts or did he subcontract them like most brands do? But most of the times brands work with other agencies that subcontract or have some contract with the models. So the designer themselves don't have the responsibility to like find and employ the models directly. So I feel like there's a lot more to the role of fashion designer and business owner that isn't really mentioned. And I would have loved to know like a typical day for him, like how he thought about business, what his fashion philosophy was. And maybe that's on the internet. Maybe all that information is out there. I do want to know more. I feel like one of the major things that I lack an understanding for is luxury fashion. I've dismissed it for like my entire life because I didn't think it was necessary to understand that as a low income consumer or individual. But I think what people are doing at quote unquote the top is important to understand, so that when a small designer like me starts to create more collections or starts to think about the business side of what they're doing, they have examples or they have theories or they have context of what the biggest, most successful designers have done in the past. It's like you're learning from other people's mistakes without actually doing them yourselves. And that's why people are like, oh, you should read the autobiographies of like the most successful people so you avoid their pitfalls or like their mistakes basically, and I guess grow faster and stronger than what they could have done in their lifetime, but they had to go through that to learn. So I am very much interested in seeing if he has an autobiography, if there's like any documentaries about him. I didn't know that he was like Italian. He's Italian, right? Where was he born? Where was she born? He didn't specify. I can also look that up, but can you imagine just like watching fashion documentaries of the most major designers? It'd probably be on Twitch that I would do that, but sometimes they ban you on Twitch if you watch other people's content. The Hidden Empire of Giorgio Armani. Okay, so there's other things that we can watch. This one was made a year or a day ago, I mean. There's features on PBS, so he's on the internet a lot. 2 years ago, there's another documentary, Armani Discovering Fashion. Okay, cool. Yeah, I would want to watch this on Twitch. Definitely on Twitch, because YouTube is going to copyright strike me as trying to copy other people's information. Okay, so there's another documentary called A Man for All Seasons. 2004? Oh my god, he's been around. Can you imagine being alive in 2004, I mean? 2004. How old was I? I was 7 years old.
Vedevo tutti quelli del paese, I ragazzi e le ragazze del paese, e facevamo la recita, come si dice.
Okay, so it's not even in English, but still I can read the captions. That'd be fun to watch. Like a whole Giorgio Armani documentary run for the day. That'd be a fun live stream. But yeah, sad for the fashion industry to hear this news. I was scrolling on Instagram and that's when I saw the news. I was like, oh no, people are gonna be sad about this. But yeah, it's just unfortunate that happened. But I do want to talk about other things that are in the industry. So for example, one of the craziest thing I've seen recently is the use of a lookalike to Luigi Mangione in a Shein ad. So when I read this on the internet, I was so confused how this is possible. Like, Shein has just reached a whole level of audacity I didn't know they had in them. So let's read this article by The Cut. Because it says, how on earth did Luigi Mangione end up on Shein? So okay, so I can't even be serious right now because it sounds so weird coming out of my mouth. But basically, this is a photo. This is the lookalike of Luigi. And they had him on their website. Like, it has the same eyebrows, same teeth, same smile. Like, it's just a more polished version of him. I mean, the nose is a bit different, but that's really it. He has a straighter nose. And his ears are a bit more close into his face. But other than that, like, it's a carbon copy. That's crazy. So let's read that. So shoppers browsing the Shein website may have recently spotted a familiar face in the casual shirt section. So oh my god. And images from the company's website that began circulating on Tuesday. Luigi, the 27-year-old facing murder charges for allegedly shooting United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, appeared to be modeling the fast fashion brand's offerings. Mangione's likeness appeared in the product listing for a white floral short-sleeved men's shirt, smiling and bashfully touching his hand to his neck while modeling a barbecue-ready look for $11.69. Why would Shein do this? Whoever their creative director is just really messed up on this one. Like, how can you excuse yourself with this? Like, someone will need to get fired after the backlash. Did they not think we wouldn't notice? How would we not notice how similar they look? They must have been like, oh, it looks just like him, so we should use his image. Like, girls love him, hence they love the fashion that we're selling on him, even though this is a men's item. Or maybe they thought that guys really like him and thought, okay, they'll resonate with Luigi. I don't know what the thought process was. I'm making theories here because who knows. And they go on to explain that Luigi has been in jail since his arrest in December. And as far as we are aware, has not signed a modeling contract with Shein while he awaits trial. And the image is widely suspected to be either AI generated or photoshopped. And the BBC reported that facial recognition tools determine the image is a 99.9% match with the actual photo of Mangione taken at one of his court appearances. It's a 99.9% match. That's so eerie to think about. Okay, so it was slightly off with the nose, but I think it's more similar than the lighting alludes to here. And if it's just like the nose that seems a bit different, it may very well be the angle of the quote-unquote photo. That's crazy. It must be AI generated because how would he pose like this, you know? Like there's no way he would generally pose like this in a court. And the arm looks a bit too shiny and too clean. Like where's the hair at? The last time I saw a guy wax, like he was not in prison. So yeah, he looks way too pretty to be normal, I guess. I don't know. Like there's pretty guys that take care of themselves, but like if he's supposed to be in prison and has more of a natural look, then it just looks too clean. It's too put together for what he's going through. Okay, so the article goes on to say on Wednesday, Shein told The Cut that it removed the image immediately upon discovery and explained it had been provided by a third-party vendor. So essentially they're blaming it on someone else who gave them the photo. How can they excuse their behavior saying this is from a third-party vendor? Like you bought from the vendor, you should have seen it. Like you should blame yourself for buying this image. And it also essentially proves that they bought this from someone else, or at least from what they're saying, purchased it from a third-party vendor. Why would you purchase a photo that looks like Luigi? And I don't think they're unaware of what's going on right now with his case. Like you should be quite aware of what's going on, and you should have assumed or maybe made the connection that it looks like Luigi. Like you should really be like, oh my god, is that Luigi? Because everyone else did the same reaction, and if it's 99.9% the same, they must have recognized it. So even if they were buying it, they were so complicit. Like they should be aware of what's going on in the world and like who looks like who, right? But the article continues on to explain per an archived version. Blah, I cannot read. So per an archived version of the listing saved to the Internet Archive, the shirt was being sold on Shein but sourced from Manfinity, which is a third-party brand that does not appear to rely heavily on AI models. Note the does not appear to rely heavily, so only lightly they use AI models. And it turns out they use a 99.9 likeness image of a person for the brand. Nice. Just lightly. It wasn't 100% likeness. It was only 99.9 likeness. Hence, it's just a light use of AI. And then it continues on to say, in its statement, Shein said it has stringent standards for all listings on our platform, adding, we are conducting a thorough investigation, strengthening our monitoring processes, and will take appropriate action against a vendor in line with our policies. Wow, I call that a bunch of BS. I mean, they should have known what they were buying. It's no excuse for them to say, this is from a third-party vendor, this is from Manfinity, this is a third-party brand, they kind of use AI. Like, it's just giving excuse after excuse after excuse. And if they're going to strengthen their monitoring process, I'm very curious who made this decision, why they made this decision, and what is the steps for accountability. Now the thing is, I come from more of a leftist background / bias when I make my commentary. I've never been shy to explain what my political ideologies are. I don't really talk about politics here, but fashion is inherently tied to politics. Like, fashion is politics. And I would say that it's illuminating to see a fast fashion brand use the likeness of Luigi, especially because so many people have criminalized Luigi without any proof. Like, obviously, he's in the court system. He's, in trials right now. But, like, we can't say he's really a criminal because he hasn't been proven guilty, but he's being detained. And it's all alleged at this point, like, what's been done. Again, like, I feel like if people are mad that Shein has used this likeness, then maybe they're right-leaning. They don't want Shein to associate with Luigi. But I don't know, like, the thing is, what I'm bothered about is that we're seeing more and more, I glitched. Seeing more and more brands use AI. And then there is no consent from the person's likeness. Like, for example, Luigi didn't consent for his likeness to be used. So I just feel for models. I feel for those that maybe get their photo taken somewhere that don't ever get consent for their image likeness to be used. I think it'll affect a lot of model contracts. I think it'll affect how we use photos and imagery. I don't think we'll know what's real and fake anymore. Like, how do we know if this is AI or photoshopped? Who knows? Because there's nothing ensuring that it's marked or there's no guarantee anything can be specified of where it's coming from or how it's made. But I feel like images are like a product. I feel like there should be some label, something that said made in blah blah blah, edited by blah blah blah, blah software. AI was used for this part. Like, we should have a rundown so we really know what we're looking at. But I feel like reality is going to be much more complicated to figure out what is real and what is not real. If that made any sense, hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say. It's just AI and the usage of likeness is something that I'm very concerned about, and it doesn't give a consent to anyone involved. And then Shein is like not taking responsibility. They're just saying they're going to monitor the situation, trying to improve processes, but like, what does that really mean? I wonder if anyone is talking about this on the internet. But when I read this article, I was so mind blown. I was so mind blown, like how audacious fast fashion brands can be to just sell us a shirt at the end of the day. Like, it's nothing more than just a shirt. They don't have to be doing all this weird stuff. They don't have to copy people's likeness to sell us a shirt.
Kicking up the dirt as I pull out my skirt. When I walk by, bitch, they all on alert. Eeny, meeny, many more, you could be first. Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot.
Does this good-looking male model with a dazzling smile look familiar? Could that possibly be accused killer Luigi Mangione selling men's shirts? The image of Mangione, or someone who looks exactly like him, in a white short-sleeved sports shirt on the clothing website Shein is causing lots of people to scratch their heads. Is it him? Did he really pose for the photo? Or is it a case of AI? Mangione is awaiting trial for allegedly assassinating United Healthcare executive Brian Thompson here in Manhattan last December. He's become a folk hero to some who are charmed by his good looks and general dislike for health insurance companies. Mangione's lawyer, Thomas Dickey, was shocked to see the ad.
Mr. Mangione did not authorize that. I wasn't happy to see somebody, using his image or likeness for their own, monetary gain, period, let alone without his permission.
We asked AI expert Madeline Salazar to look at the ad.
You know that this isn't just a person who looks like him because the characteristics are too distinct. To build these AI characters, you submit about 20 photos of any individual. The AI will read the pixel pattern of what that face looks like. So then when you prompt it, it can recreate that face in any setting.
The company, which sold $38 billion in clothes in 2024, says in a statement, the image in question was provided by a third-party vendor and was removed immediately upon discovery. We're conducting a thorough investigation and will take appropriate action against the vendor in line with our policies. The ad apparently worked. The $12 shirts are sold out.
Oh god, the shirt is sold out. Why would it sell out? Like, it actually worked? Why did it actually work? No, the shirts are sold out. How many units do they have? It's literally been like 2 days. The picture was probably AI generated, said a comment. Ironically, Luigi would be disgusted by Shein's treatment of workers. I mean, he seems like a good dude. The way that he's reading books and like responding to the letters that they send him, and he seems very thoughtful in his writing. It feels like he has like a brain. Like, maybe he would not like fast fashion. Oh my gosh. Oh, someone else says was removed immediately. Shein caught 4K downfall. So that's so interesting. So they say they removed it immediately. So I think it was up like for maybe a day or two or max like a week, because it recently got discovered. And if it was sold out yet they took it down, they just took down a sold out shirt. You know, I think it's natural to take down a sold out shirt. So I don't think they did much. It was already sold out, right? And if they take it down, like, it doesn't make much difference. Oh my gosh. AI, Luigi should sue them. They're using him. Everyone else just does not like AI. Oh, someone else says AI models selling real clothing should be illegal straight up. The thing is, how do we not know or do know that the clothing is real? Like, how do we know that this is also something they actually designed or is actually already produced or in existence? We don't know. We don't know if this has already been made. Maybe this is just like AI generated as well, and the first person that orders it will get the first one made. Maybe they test run some. Maybe there's samples of it somewhere. But what if they make this image first and then make the draft, like the physical draft, the physical example, the physical copy? That's crazy to think about it in that way, because when I was studying fashion design, like, usually would have to cut out the patterns on muslin. I think it's how it's called. It's like this random fabric that we first try out our pattern and then we kind of mess with it because we're more prone to make mistakes the first time we make the pattern / design that we want to do. So yeah, it's muslin. Yeah, it's this. And then once we test out what we like, that's when we actually design the real, quote unquote, real dress. So a lot of times in the fashion industry, you would see people working like this at first. It's technically fabric. It's technically real. You're technically making a dress. It's just, it's all marked up. But it's like the thing before the official one, you know? You get to figure out how it moves, how it's going to fit, where you're going to sew. You test out things. So when you get the more expensive fabric, the more real version, you get to avoid the mistakes that you made in the past. You get the actual good quality stitches or good quality fit that otherwise would have cost you dearly. So yeah, she doesn't look too happy. But yeah, I miss working with this muslin fabric. It's actually very like sturdy and really easy to work with, and you get to mark it up and you see everything that you mark it up with. But you don't really get the true fit or like the true vibe from the actual fabric that you're going to use. So for example, if you are drafting a silk dress but use muslin first, you're not going to get the same flow. You don't know where it's going to drape exactly like it should or how it should, because you're using a fabric that lays quite differently. and it'll look different as well. So maybe you like the vibe of what this gives off here, but then you put on, let's say, the pink silk on the model, it just will look different because naturally it's a different fabric, it's a different feel, it's a different vibe. So you can only get like a minor picture of what's going to go on at the end of the day. But it was fun. You get to experiment, and technically there's like room for error, and you just learn from your mistakes. So fashion designers are not perfect whatsoever. But when you look at this picture, it's kind of like, have they done the draft already, or like are we just looking at the idea of the shirt that still hasn't been produced? So it's overall very scary to think about, and to wonder how they operate is a whole question mark in itself, because they lack so much transparency, they lack so much accountability. They're saying they're going to monitor the situation when they bought an AI picture from a third-party vendor. Like, dude, you're the one that has to monitor your own business practices. Like, get a grip here. Change your ways. Like, what are you actually doing? But I feel like in the grand scheme of things, it's further villainizing Shein, especially for those on the left. So if you are aware of the Luigi case or following his case, and you now see that Shein is using AI models in his likeness, I think it's going to villainize Shein even more and actually lose more customers in the long run. So I maybe they also lost more Republicans, like the far right, because they often don't like him. So I just feel like they lost both sides of the party quite literally. This is not going to look good for Shein in the long run. I feel like they're just doing too many mistakes. Okay, let's move on to the other news, because we do have a lot to talk about today, which is actually quite fun and exciting. I completely forgot I was stressed. I feel happy. I feel happy talking about this stuff. So one of the other things that I want to talk about is how there is a new editor for US Vogue. So Anna Wintour, who used to be a long-standing member of Vogue and still will be, she's just kind of stepped back a bit, basically was able to choose who would replace her, and she decided to go with Chloe Malle. She's been in the industry for a long while. She is quite young, but she's been named the new head of the editorial content, and Vogue covered this for us. So let's go ahead and give this a listen. My headphones have died or refused to work. Let's see if I can listen along with you guys.
Chloe Malle is head of
Yeah,
editorial
it's
content
died.
for American Vogue, effective immediately. In this new position, Malle...
Okay, so my headphones are refusing to work. Maybe it's because they don't have any battery left. I wonder what's going on. Let's see. Give me 1 second to check. I think that they died 100%. They're definitely not at 100%. I'm testing out these it says it's 100%. Maybe it's at 0%. Yeah, they're dead. So this is incorrect. Let's see. That's unfortunate. I didn't want to listen along with you guys. Who is currently the editor of Vogue.com and the co-host of the Run Through, which is Vogue's weekly fashion and culture podcast, will lead the creative and editorial direction of the title and join Vogue's 10 existing heads of editorial content. So, I mean, I think there's other people already there around the world reporting to Anna. So, I mean, Anna is still very much in charge. Like, nothing has happened that will really change. I just feel like a lot of people thought she was going to completely dip and, like, completely leave, which is not true. Like, Anna is still very much in charge. So Malle explained that fashion media are both evolving at breakneck speed, and I'm so thrilled and honored to be part of that. She says, I also feel incredibly fortunate to still have Anna just down the hall as my mentor. I don't feel like she's just a mentor. I think it's like literally her boss. So when it came to hiring someone to edit American Vogue, letting me turn my attention more intensely to Vogue's multifaceted growth around its global audiences and publications and events like the Met Gala and Vogue World, I knew I had one chance to get it right. Okay. So Chloe has long been one of Vogue's secret weapons when it comes to tracking fashion, but she is not so buried in the industry that she misses the world. Like the best designers, she understands fashion's big picture, its role shaping not just what's on the runway, but the changing fabric of modern life. Although she is no longer a stranger to the glamour of red carpets, her talent has been for original thinking and hard work. Isn't she a Nepo baby? She began working in Vogue in 2011, so that was like 14 years ago. And if she's like, what is she? She's like 35 years old now. She's like 21. How did she get in at 21? She was given the name the social editor because she covered all the wedding and social coverage. Oh, interesting. And then she was also the editor for other books as well. She's been around for a long time. Interesting. She began to be the editor of Vogue in fall 2023. Saw more growth because of her. And then she expanded different things. So she has editor-led newsletters, tent poles. I don't know what that is. She launched the Vogue Vintage Guide. Nice. Raise a profile of Vogue's wedding. Oh, I've seen the Vogue weddings a lot. I've seen those on social media. Those are quite popular. They would actually go to Montana a lot for these luxury elite weddings. So I'd see a lot of like fashion journalists sometimes and content come out from my own city in the middle of nowhere, Montana. I think it's because of the backdrop of the mountains and stuff, but I would see the Vogue journalists be in the most touristy sections of Montana because of the backdrops and their weddings. So that's interesting, very interesting. I don't really think that this is huge news, even though it's been everywhere. I just think it's a change to what we're so used to seeing. Like, we're just used to seeing Anna being like the prominent figure, and to like see someone else be the prominent figure, it's just like, bro, what is happening in the industry? Things are moving, things are shifting, but Anna's still in charge. Like, this is not meaningful. Like, she's still under her.
This your bag, sir? What gave it away?
I think there's also a very interesting myth of like mentor when someone is your boss. Like, someone can be your boss and be your mentor, can be both, but we can't assume that your boss is going to be your mentor. Like, Anna may never even give her advice and still call herself a mentor, you know? It's just, how is she being a mentor, especially if Mally, like Chloe, has been working there for like 11 plus years. But maybe if I'm underestimating the power of mentorship. There's always something to learn from Anna.
We're going to start.
Something big happened while you were gone last night.
What?
Yeah. I don't know if you've.
Well, something big just happened moments ago. This one's hot off the press here. A new little item. We're going to start. If you're a fan of Vogue, Chloe Mao, am I saying her name right?
Yes.
Has just been named the new head of editorial content for American Vogue. Mao is the daughter of actress Candice Bergen and director Louis Malle. She currently is the editor of Vogue.com and co-hosts Vogue's weekly fashion and culture podcast. She's going to take, of course, lead from fashion business icon Anna Wintour, who, of course, is leaving the publication. Announced that in June, but it is official now. She gets that big gig.
That's a big job. Big job.
And
she was the front runner, right?
Yeah.
Like, people
and
were
she's
thinking
really
it'd be her.
lovely.
Yes.
She is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so congratulations.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today.
It's in major sites. I was raised with the Today Show. I would wake up to that on Sundays. It was like the most wholesome vibe ever. I mean, she looks nice. Like, she looks like a very nerdy fashion. She looks nice. She looks like a very fashion nerdy type. I don't know her though. I don't know her philosophy. I don't know if she's actually nice. Like, she has a kind smile. I don't know if she's actually a kind person. Like, sometimes being in the industry, the fashion industry specifically, can really change you for the worse, especially within the most elite spaces and spots. A lot of people can sacrifice their values or their personality or who they are for a chance to make it in life. But she is the daughter of, like, award-winning parents, so we'll see what happens. Okay. There's a lot of TikToks giving us news about fashion. I've noticed that. Not really like videos, but more so TikToks.
Honey?
Also, I'm functioning on this live stream like with no audio. Like, I'm going in blind. So if you have some listening issues or have issues listening to me live streaming, I can't hear the audio. I don't know what's going on. My headphones died.
Sunglasses, the signature bob. The woman behind the look has defined the fashion world for nearly 4 decades. But this morning, Anna Wintour turning the glossy page at Vogue magazine, enlisting former Vogue.com editor Chloe Mal as the new head of editorial content for the U.S. Winter saying in a statement, Mal is a voracious, engaged journalist with an intuition for women's changing interests now. Her eye for the definitive image is exceptional.
She is someone who really comes to the position more from the sort of journalistic writing side of the magazine as opposed to the fashion director visual side of the magazine.
A 39-year-old mom of 2, Mal has spent 14 years at Vogue, doubling traffic to its website since 2023.
This is The Run Through. I'm Chloe Mal.
Even co-hosting the popular podcast, The Run Through.
We're in the Vogue closet. This is a big moment for many people, but we're just casually on this pink velvet sofa.
The daughter of Hollywood royalty, Mal grew up closer to the celebrity world than fashion. Her father, Pretty Baby director Louis Mal. Her mom, Emmy Award-winning actress Candice Bergen, who soared to fame playing hard-nosed TV journalist Murphy Brown.
Hi, everybody.
Then later, playing the role of Enid Frick on Sex and the City.
This isn't Vogue.
Ironically, a no-nonsense Vogue editor.
I want less Carrie Bradshaw and more carry this bag with these shoes.
In June, Wintour announcing she was stepping down as American Vogue's editor-in-chief, but not fully retiring from her perch as the global editorial director.
It's a new title for American Vogue. So it will be interesting to see the degree to which the sensibility of the magazine changes, the way that's managed. This is new ground.
It's new ground indeed that so many are going to be watching closely. Anna Wintour was about the same age as Chloe when she began steering the powerful magazine, but it's not clear how much of the wheel she's going to offer her successor. Anna will remain a powerful force in the Condé Nast universe and at Vogue, and she's going to continue to run the Met Gala, guys, so you can expect to see those sunglasses at fashion shows and Anna's presence still around for a while.
No question.
We wouldn't want it any other way. Good luck to Chloe.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see the comments. I'm curious what other people have to say. Oh my god, the one comment. The one comment says, is she the one with that horrible laugh? Oh my god, why are people so mean? I wouldn't go on to say all of that. I was just like, I'm curious what her values are. Who is she as a person? Who is Chloe? What does Chloe eat? What does Chloe do? How does Chloe shop? Oh, there's an inside cover on her. Inside interview.
Form for all the women who worked at Vogue for the Met Gala. China through the looking glass. I will never wear it again, but can't get rid of it. This t-shirt that my mom wore on the cover of Esquire about 50 years ago. I never really wear it, but I just can't get rid of it. It's this pair of Marc Jacobs snake shoes. I got them at a sample sale many years ago, and they're not comfortable, and they're not easy to wear, but they're so fabulous. This Nina Ricci skirt has sort of ribbons of different pieces of lace, and I wore it during my wedding weekend, and this shirt now really doesn't fit me. I probably should give it away, but I can't really bear to do it yet. This cat scarf was Murphy Brown wardrobe. It's Gucci. I wore it to the White House to interview Dr. Biden and Naomi Biden about Naomi Biden's wedding. And I just remember in my photo with Dr. Biden, it's like tied weirdly and it sort of ruins the photo, but I love the scarf. This was the uniform for all the women who worked at Vogue for the Met Gala. China through the looking glass. I will never wear it again, but can't get rid of it. This t-shirt that my mom wore on the cover of Esquire about 50 years ago. I never really wear it, but I just can't get rid of it. It's this pair of Marc Jacobs snake shoes. I got them at a sample sale many years ago, and they're not comfortable, and they're not easy to wear, but they're so fabulous. This Nina Ricci skirt has sort of ribbons of different pieces of lace, and I wore it during my wedding weekend.
So the video repeated on itself. I think Vogue did it to reach the 1 minute mark so they can be profitable in the AdSense. But it's so confusing when you're watching a reel or a short on YouTube and it repeats on itself and you're like, bro, didn't I not just watch this? Like, I feel like they give me really bad just memory issues. I'm like, bro, what? I swear I just heard this. Okay. She seems so down to earth. Like, it just seems like a normal person going through her normal wardrobe. But, again, I don't know anything about her. But she seems pretty down to earth. But then, again, she said my wedding weekend. And she was casually talking about, like, name brand shoes. Like, it was nothing. She casually has the work attire of working the Met Gala. Oh my gosh. She's not so down to earth as we would like to think, huh? Another comment says, another Nepo baby. Oh my gosh. I mean, she is a Nepo baby. Like, you can't take that away from her, sadly. I mean, she was born into fame, born into money, born into Hollywood. I mean, her wedding got her a cover in Vogue. Like, that's pretty much all we have to say about where she stands in life. So, I don't necessarily hate the player. I would say I hate more of the system, more of the game itself that gives opportunities to those that just happen to have certain parents or certain standing or a certain network of people around them. It's so hard to make it when you don't have that same level of luck and opportunity as others. So hopefully she does some good changes that are positive. I really like how Teen Vogue is increasingly talking about politics. Hopefully she doesn't affect that whatsoever in her new leadership role. I'm not quite sure how Vogue US works in conjunction with Teen Vogue, but I'm such a fan of Teen Vogue. They're so influential in the reach they have with the younger generations that love fashion. And most Gen Zers are increasingly becoming more involved in politics as the issues more directly affect them, such as the climate crisis, and they have eco anxiety and all this stuff, and they care more about sustainability because of it, and they care about where things are made as they see how Shein is so messed up. Like, for example, like we pop up on their website and it says young people are using parties and free menstrual cups to fight climate anxiety. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is one of the first things that you see, and then you have the Palestine flag over here. They're out there in the LGBT, what is this, parade? I don't know what I'm looking at. Parade? I'm assuming they look happy. So interesting. I love this. When was this published? It was published September 2nd, 2025, and it was written by Colleen Hamilton. I wonder who she is. I want to research her. She doesn't let me. It doesn't let me link it. It doesn't let me click it. Okay. But yeah, that's very fascinating. And it's very, like, intersectional. It doesn't just talk about one thing. It talks about climate anxiety. It talks about reproductive health. It talks about so many different things. So that's nice to see. Oh my gosh, can you imagine a live stream where I just do this with one tree? I'd be there the entire day. I don't even know how to knit. Join me as I knit a what's it called? A tree hugger all day in a park. Oh, for my backyard. That would actually be a great like 12-hour stream. Once I learn how to knit, it's gonna be game over for the 12-hour streams. Oh, wait, let's look into that. Knitted? I think they're called tree huggers. I have no idea if they're actually called tree huggers. That would be a nice name for them. If not, I'll trademark it and I'll make a multi-million-dollar business out of that. Okay, let's see. Nope. Yep, they're called tree huggers. I just guessed. I literally didn't know what they were called. I just said tree huggers and it turned out to be right. Am I crazy or am I an unknown genius? Okay, let's see. Tree huggers. Why are all these videos like 10 years old? This one is 11 years old. This one is 12 years old. Does no one make content about tree huggers 10 years ago? I think there was a trend around this 10 years ago. What was happening in 2015? That's when I started college. Were people that bored? Okay, let's look at this.
Election might not be the only topic that people talking about while walking around downtown Iowa City. Those colorful knit sweaters on trees could be another one. On November the 10th, Tree Huggers had returned for its third year. They transmitted their love to trees, meanwhile adding warmth and vitality to Iowa City. The trees of Iowa City have very little to worry about with the cold weather moving in. Knitters are hugging them by wrapping their handmade sweaters, and the downtown Iowa City is now being decorated by knitters. Judy Best is one of those huggers who came to bring warmth to her tree. Her family was there in company with her for support. She came with her sweaters and lived with content this time every year since 2012.
Well, it gives a little color to the drab winter months. I think it's a joyful thing, and I love looking at other people's knitting. And
wait a minute. So you don't actually knit on the tree or with the tree. You just knit patches that you've attached to each other somehow, and then all you're doing at the end of it is attaching the seams, basically, quote unquote, the seams of the patches together so that it ends up, quote unquote, hugging the tree. This doesn't seem so much fun anymore. Once I know the logistics, the magic is over. So the thing is, like, the concept was so much more fun. Oh my gosh. That's why I like the design process, not the actual, like, creation process. I like dreaming what it could be, not dealing with what is. So, like, if I do a live stream, like, it's just me stitching the patches together. That literally take like an hour. So most of the live stream would be me knitting. Oh my god, that would be so boring to watch. Hi guys, tune in to me when knitting. Most people knit and multitask. So I don't think I'd be doing much more than like yapping. I'd be yapping and knitting. Like that's really the only combo I could see myself doing to like actually make a tree hugging live stream happen. Ugh, that's so boring.
See what they've done.
I think that the knitters on the trees, it looks really cute and it kind of brightens up the city, gives it like a fall-y vibe. I think it just looks good. It's pleasing. Yeah.
Thanks to caring huggers, trees are able to endure this coming winter and welcome a new year with wearing their new clothes. Reporting from Davin Wang, Daily Iowan TV.
I kind of want to do like tree huggers for my backyard for the winter though. I want to do that though. That'd be so cute. Put some tinsel on there. That'd be the cutest patootis thing ever. No one does content around this. No one is a tree hugger influencer. This was 12 years ago too. Oh my god, that one's pretty. Duan did this. In Indiana. I feel like this is very popular in suburbs with older demographics because this is from Indiana. And then this one was from, where was it from? Oh, Iowa. And then this one is again from Iowa. Why are they all online? This is in Iowa. I think there was a challenge where they had to like upload their creation to win a spot or something, because they're all part of the same tree huggers project in the same sort of era or year in the same city, Iowa City. The ladies got competitive that year. They covered all the trees. Oh. What happens once it's not gold? Do they rip them off? Do they donate the knit somewhere? The knit. What's it called? The yarn somewhere? I don't know. I don't know how to knit. What is this? That looks so complicated. Is she just running that through the machine? Wait, let's watch. That looks easy. Wait, I can actually do that. I'll stencil it. I'll stencil knit. Wait, what if I just yap for 10 hours while I do that? Like, what's the pattern ending up looking like? But isn't that cheating? That doesn't look like traditional knitting where you have to like count something and use the two things in your hand. I don't even know what those things is you grab to knit. Oh, there's this machine. Oh, this is knitting loom. That looks so much better than the other two sticks you gotta use. I can actually do this. Wait, what? But that looks easy. I can do this. I just buy my knitting loom machine. Oh, okay. Lazy version. I always go for the lazy version. Don't ever think I work hard on my projects. I'll take the fastest route. This kind of looks like ASMR. Does it actually create good designs though? Because I feel like we're cheating at this point. Did we just commodify knitting with this loom? Yada. When does this video end? Maybe I've been rewatching the same thing over and over again. Yeah, I've just been rewatching the whole thing again and again and again and again. They got me. Okay, so we're gonna move on. How did I get to tree hugger TikTok? I don't even remember. Oh, we were on Team Vogue. Okay, we saw this photo. Anyways, let's get back to the news. This is why I have my Canva deck. I don't know what I was doing. But going back to this, I do want to say that Vivienne Westwood has designed costumes for the Am4 Gala in Salzburg. I love Vivienne Westwood. I do kind of have some beef with her weird rebellion philosophy, yet is immersed in the most fluffy elite spaces and benefits from quote-unquote being a rebellious character, even though she's still conforming to the system in a way. But it's always interesting to just track what she's doing. But basically she designed costumes for the Am4 Gala, which took place August 24th, and that's where 400 high-profile figures from the arts, culture, politics, and business gathered at the Salzburg residence. The theme was Hugo von Hofmannsthal's Jetterman. I don't know what the hell that was. What was that? I don't know. We'll just leave that there. And basically, there's a lot of costumes. They were transformed by creative director Andreas Kronthaler, and they were once worn by opera singers and actors from previous festivals. They digged into costume archives and they made them into new costumes, and they were basically taken apart, combined, resewn, and mixed with pieces from current collections. And basically it was to tell a new story in the unmistakable style of the house. And it says Salzburg has a special meaning for the designer, for Vivienne, and Vivienne was honored at the event. I mean, there's so much like hype for Vivienne Westwood. I'm still trying to understand why, but all the money raised was in an effort to fight against the global AIDS epidemic. Very cool. I love them. And then the costumes represented themes of life, so life and death, possession and loss, power and humility, and told the stories of the play's motives and the characters within it. I keep glitching out. I'm so sorry if I keep repeating words. So the original dresses were also used for the dinner guests. What does that mean? like, did dinner guests wear the original dresses? Very interesting. But yeah, that I found that very interesting because she's everywhere. Like, she's renowned for a lot of different reasons and a lot of different places. But I love when fashion can like mean something deeper, or at least raise funds for a certain organization. Like, my dream one day would be to have like a charity gala. This idea is not copyrighted, and if you want to copy it, go ahead and do it. But a copyrighted gala would serve injustice to what I want it to be. So my idea is a charitable gala where people dress up. Let's say it's a fairy theme, ideally in winter. Imagine a winter fairy themed gala. So you invite your most rich, well-known friends and family. You allow other limited groups of people to decide to buy a ticket, but it's invite only. They attend with beautiful on-theme clothing. Maybe you designed it for them or others designed it for them. But they all have to fit the theme. You have to approve the outfit beforehand, because you know how when you say, oh, the theme is this, and then other people don't really understand the theme and then they show up and they kind of ruin the whole vibe? Yeah. So we would avoid that by first approving the look, and then they come with the approved look. Ideally, they would, come with the approved look. And then all the money made from the tickets would go to like a charitable cause. So for me, it'd be like towards the preservation of axolotls. So wouldn't that be so pretty to watch? Like watching that, whether in a video or like a live stream, or just like seeing other streamers get ready, seeing the process of the dress being made for them. Because a lot of people have never had something done that is tailored to their body, that like literally fits every single part of their body. To have people invite you in that process and to see them like see maybe the design they helped create, or see the vision that they had in their mind come true, to go to this gala that is going to help a good cause, would be so great to watch. It'd be so fun to watch. It'd be such a good cause to support, and like you would have so much fun at the actual event. Not only would like the content creators or like the attendees or whatever would like have fun and enjoy their night, but like in the big picture, so many more people would be like, this was fun to see or look at, whether live stream, video, again, anything would be fun to look at. So I don't know, that is something that just is on my mind a lot. Like, why don't a lot more people do like these charity galas? I know the Met Gala tries to be like that charity gala, but it's a bad example. The Met Gala is not a good example. But yeah, I dream of those sort of like charity galas, and a lot of like elite rich people do that already. I was kind of thinking about a scene in Batman where they have to go to all these fancy events to raise money for charities, when we damn well know these people can just donate the money and not have to attend the gala. Okay, let's see if we can find anything for the Ampere Gala, because I do want to see like what costumes she designed for Salzburg. If not, we'll just move on. But yes, I don't see anything. Yeah, I don't see anything, so let's move on. But did want to note the charity gala was an idea that was on my mind that I really want to make happen, especially in the live streamer space. Charity gala, see, they do this all the time with like people with more money and interest in going to these sort of events. Very fancy schmooshy place to be. A lot of nonprofits I worked at would actually do a lot of charity galas. So my thought is essentially unoriginal. It says essentially non-original. Oh, okay, so Princess Diana attends charity gala in aid of Bright Right, a British charity which helps underprivileged mothers and babies. Can you imagine like the most prominent Twitch streamers like going down those stairs and like going to a very fancy Met Gala? That'd be so much fun to watch. Even if I don't host it, that'd be so much fun to watch. I would love to attend that. Even with friends or family, like just a fun, like just for cutesy vibes gala would be so fun to go to. That'd be so much fun. Just to dress up for no reason. Love it. Okay, so I'm going to move on, and I do want to talk about this Aloe handbag. This brand, Aloe, has been everywhere. It's been everywhere, and it's been growing too fast for my own liking, to the point where they're now audacious enough to sell a $3,000 handbag, and they're a fitness brand. Like, I don't think they should be known for bags, but now they're trying to enter the handbag industry for whatever reason. But CEO Danny Harris has broken down the athleisure brand, and basically it's saying that they're transitioning to luxury, which means more bucks for them, I guess. They're kind of tired of being in malls and being worn by the random ordinary girl, that they've decided to become a luxury brand. And he is confident that consumers will swap their Chanel for Aloe, which is a huge statement because Aloe is like not part of our everyday conversational fashion speak, you know? Like we don't speak Aloe. Like often enough, if we associate like fancy with a bag, it's Chanel. Like everyone knows what Chanel is. Not everyone knows what Aloe is, but they have been seen more and more with like more wealthy consumers. So the article explains from the little bit that they gave us before gatekeeping. The article says whether you're walking through the streets of Soho or Beverly Hill, you'll be hard pressed to get through an afternoon without seeing at least a few Aloe tote bags. But would these same girls shell out upwards of $3,000 for a leather handbag from the athleisure brand? CEO Danny Harris is betting yes, and next month Aloe is launching a line of Italian-made leather bags. There's going to be 3 styles at launch, and the prices for the categories will range between $1,200 to $3,600. And a campaign will drop on the 9th of this month, and then on that same date, the bags will be available for pre-order, and then it will be available to pick up on the 22nd of September. And their top performing stores, which is in Beverly Hills, New York Soho, London's Regent Street, and Aspen. I feel like it's an overestimation for them to want to try to sell a $3,000 Aloe handbag. And if you can only buy it by pre-ordering it and then picking it up in the bus stores, I do think they're targeting their most rich luxury lover of a consumer and basically forgetting about everyone else that typically just goes and buys the brand to fit in and like have the latest brand that's popped off for athletics. But I'm not sure about the connection between handbag lovers with athleisure wearers. Are they selling their stuff in... Wait, what did I just see? Oh, it's Aloe. Why did it misspell to Aldo? So there's a very similar brand called Aldo that they're showcasing in Burlington. I'm like, they're really trying to sell a $3,000 bag while they have other bags in Burlington. I was so confused for a second, but this is Aloe that we're talking about, not Aldo. Okay. Oh my god, people are saying, what's in my Aloe shopping bag?
What's in my Aloe shopping bag?
Are you serious right now? Are you serious? I'm gonna take the music off so I don't get copyrighted. That was it? You know what? Will I get copyright striked if I just like tape the logo on a random bag? Because that logo doesn't even look special. It's just normal words on there. Aloe. See? I can do that. I can screen print that. Why is it so expensive? That doesn't scream luxury fashion to me. They're known for their tops and bottoms too, so like where did the handbag come from? Especially leather. If their clientele is more on the younger end, usually they don't like leather products because of the ethics of the animals. Or maybe they just find it nasty. They sell fancy waters? How much are socks? That water must be like $10. They have a very contemporary athleisure vibe. I don't think handbags is going to be like their huge product. I think it's just going to elevate their brand and seem more luxury. That's a travel bag that looks like it was made from Shein. I think it's just the logo that makes it feel special. That must have been like $70 right there. I don't know where Aloe came from or how they got big, but it seems like they just came out of nowhere, out of the blue. I've been seeing them a lot with influencers who work out. They have like money to spend on the tops. I think I've been seeing some water bottles as well. What's their lore? Should I do a deep dive for a video? The lore of Aloe. Inside Aloe Yoga's rise to a $10 billion athleisure brand. They've made $10 billion already? What are they up to? Okay, let's watch this one. It's a video by Forbes. Maybe we'll get some clues of what the hell is going on.
Today on Forbes. Are billionaires. Today on Forbes, founders of Aloe Yoga, a hit with celebs like Taylor Swift and Hailey Bieber, are billionaires. On February 2nd, Hailey Bieber was photographed walking into an Aloe store in Manhattan, sporting a black puffer jacket and a pair of the brand's just dropped limited edition charcoal green airlift leggings. 3 days later, the New York Post's gossip site, Page 6, ran a short article on the new leggings with the pictures of Bieber and an affiliate link where shoppers could click and buy the $128 leggings. In the hotly contested battle for trendiest yoga wear, Aloe is wooing and winning over many famous fans and using them as part of its marketing push. Taylor Swift, Bella Hadid, NFL quarterback Joe Burrow, and a long list of influencers have all been photographed in everything from its $68 biker shorts to a $1,400 custom suit. On its website, there is a section devoted to, quote, as seen on Kendall and Kylie, referring to the famous Jenner sisters. There's another section featuring Jisoo, a member of K-pop girl band Blackpink, enjoying Aloe and the West Coast before her summer world tour. The Jenner sisters and Jisoo are paid to promote Aloe, but most of the other celebs spotted wearing the clothes are doing so because they want to, according to a company spokesperson. This glamorous guerrilla marketing has helped Aloe become a fast-growing challenger in the competitive athleisure category, known for its younger skewing, street chic styles. Referring to the brand, Alexandra Barash, a professor of marketing at the University of Colorado Boulder's Leeds School of Business, says, quote, it gives off that vibe of effortlessly cool. They've done a good job of making it seem natural that the celebrities are spontaneously choosing these products. All of this has helped push revenue of Aloe's parent company, Color Image Apparel, up to nearly $2 billion, Forbes estimates. It's still a tiny speck of the estimated $394 billion athleisure market, per Dimension Market Research, that's blanketed with such brands as $10.6 billion in revenue Lululemon, Gymshark, The Gap's Athleta, Fabletics, Vori, Under Armour, and Nike, which recently announced a partnership with Kim Kardashian's Skims for a new women's athletics label. But Aloe is a fast-growing player, with estimated revenue roughly doubling over the past 2 years and up tenfold since 2020, according to financials reported in past media reports, thanks to the rising popularity of its yoga brand. There are now more than 130 Aloe stores around the world, including 31 outside of the US. It's enough to make billionaires of the company's founders, Danny Harris and Marco DeGiorge, who each own 50%. Forbes estimates they are each worth $4.7 billion, based on the value of Color Image Apparel. They were reportedly raising money at a $10 billion valuation in October 2023, but a deal never came to fruition. Harris and DeGiorge declined to be interviewed about their net worths for this story. There are some clouds on the horizon. Some retailers, including publicly traded Lululemon, whose shares dropped 10% in one day at the end of March, and is down 23% over the past month, have been rattled by consumer uncertainty and the ongoing threat of tariffs. Despite this, the category overall has plenty of room to keep expanding. Morningstar retail analyst David Swartz explains, quote, "This is one of the few strong areas of apparel, which is generally a low-growth industry, so it's attracted some strong competition and some large investments." Sales of athleisure apparel are predicted to more than double to $900 billion by 2033, according to Dimension. For Harris and DeGeorge, yoga started out as a healthy pastime. The childhood friends who grew up together in the San Francisco suburb of Los Gatos started making t-shirts for a local business their senior year, and then opened up a screen printing company right after graduating from high school. They built it into color image apparel, and later moved into mass manufacturing clothing, mainly t-shirts and tanks, for wholesale. Their Bella Canvas brand is now one of the country's biggest t-shirt manufacturers. For full coverage, check out Jemima McAvoy's piece on Forbes.com. This is Kieran Meadows from Forbes. Thanks for tuning in.
Curious about your credit score? Check your credit score for free with Chase Credit Journey. And build credit with the Freedom Rise credit card. Learn more at chase.com/rise.
Okay, so we're gonna move on from this. I had to step away from a break and it got extended for quite a time period. I currently live in a house. Okay, so okay, let's see. This was also another part of the brand that was being discussed, where they're allegedly being sued by a star instructor for discrimination. So we'll take a look at this. So this is by the Fashion Law. They're a really great group if you want to learn more about fashion law. But basically it says that they're a $10 million brand that promises a mindful movement, inspiring wellness, and creating community. But this lawsuit lodged in California state court claims that those public values are facade. Okay, let's have AI read this and then we'll go from there.
In the complaint that she filed with the Superior Court of California on August 25th, as first reported by TFL, Bryony Smith alleges that despite being one of the most popular instructors on Alo Moves, regularly ranking among the digital fitness and wellness platform's top 3 instructors and drawing millions of views, she was gradually pushed out once she turned 40. Smith, who joined Alo through its 2017 acquisition of Kodiak, claims that her long track record of success and visibility was ultimately disregarded in favor of younger instructors. The Alo aesthetic and alleged misclassification. The lawsuit alleges that Alo's shift from a digital yoga platform into a global fashion brand brought a new mandate to prioritize instructors who fit the Alo aesthetic younger. 20-something models who reflect the company's evolving branding strategy. Smith turned 40 in 2022, and despite remaining a fit, active ambassador for middle-aged consumers, she claims that she began to face wage cuts, reduced bonuses, and fewer opportunities. By 2023, Smith contends that her annual pay was slashed from $100,000 to $70,000, with bonuses halved. Finally, in February 2025, Alo terminated her entirely, citing a shift in focus, which Smith says is coded language for age-based exclusion. Beyond the central claim of age discrimination under California's Fair Employment and Housing Act (FEHA, Smith argues that Alo misclassified her and other instructors as independent contractors when they were actually employees, robbing her of labor protections afforded to employees. In fact, Smith alleges that she was treated as an employee, as she was paid a set salary, required to wear Alo gear, submit to company control over her social media, and forbidden from working with competitors. The complaint also challenges the arbitration agreement that Alo includes in its standard instructor contracts as unconscionable, pointing to a clause that requires each party to pay an equal share of the fees and costs charged by an arbitrator. A burden, Smith argues, makes it economically unfeasible for instructors to pursue claims. California law has long held that such clauses are unenforceable when they disproportionately burden workers, Smith maintains. With the foregoing in mind, Smith accuses Alo of unlawfully terminating her in violation of FEHA because she is over 40 and further claims wrongful termination in violation of public policy, given state and federal protections against age discrimination. She also contends that Alo's misclassification of instructors and related practices amount to unlawful and fraudulent business conduct under California state law. In addition, Smith challenges the enforceability of Alo's arbitration agreement, arguing that its fee-sharing provision is unconscionable under California law because it imposes disproportionate financial burdens on workers and effectively deters them from pursuing claims. The bigger picture. The lawsuit lands at a time when Alo Yoga is aggressively expanding beyond yoga mats into fashion retail, skincare, and global flagship stores. It raises questions not only about workplace equity at companies in the wellness industry, which often market themselves as inclusive, but also about the legal exposure of companies that may be misclassifying instructors, ambassadors, and creators as independent contractors. If Smith is successful, the case could compel Alo to reclassify instructors as employees, strike down arbitration provisions in its contracts, and pay damages for alleged age discrimination. More broadly, it may embolden other fitness and wellness professionals to challenge industry practices that prioritize branding aesthetics over labor rights. A rep for Alo did not immediately respond to a request comment about the lawsuit.
Ali, I love.
Hey Diego. Alo. So a lot of people have been asking for this. This is 7/8 high-waisted airlift legging. This is, no, it's $210. It's like 140, 150 US. Yeah, that's probably the priciest legging I've ever seen. But let's dive into it. This is a non-brush fabric. So we've done the Lululemon line and we've done the TNA butter, and both of those are brushed. This one's not brushed. By looking at it and feeling this, I want to say it's probably polyester and elastane. So made in Vietnam, 82% polyester, 18% elastane. It's fairly soft, so it's going to be a fairly fine thread to make this. In terms of fabric itself, it's nothing too special. It's like, it's nice, but not too special. Okay, we have a reflective brand mark. This is going to be a heat transfer, probably 3M. We have on the inside another heat transfer for the logo and a tearaway care label on the inside. So when it comes to fabric itself, with this fabric being polyester and not being brushed, this is going to be a lot more durable than other leggings that you see out there. In general, when it comes to the yarns and actually fabrics that are going to be made of polyester are going to be more durable than nylons as well. Let's take a look at the workmanship itself. A little bit of loose thread here at the front, not the end of the world. Everything is flat locked. Okay, that's interesting. They have bar tacks on most of the flat locks. When it comes to stitching itself, when you are joining panels, you'll either back stitch it, and what that does is it holds down the threads, or you do a bar tack and that reinforces the seam. And typically you do this in areas of high pressure, so around the waistband. I don't think I've actually ever seen it done on the gusset. So in terms of workmanship, the decision to bar tack everything is definitely an additional cost. It's going to make the legging more durable. And I would say with a fabric like this legging's probably going to last a really long time. So they happen to use a different fabric for the liner of the gusset. Overall, like, the workmanship's pretty good. So one thing I want to point out before I tear this down is because it's a high-waisted legging, you're going to notice that there's side seams on both sides. What that's going to do is allow you to taper in the waistband to give you that hourglass shape. Let's tear it apart. All right, so now that we've teared it apart, here's all the components that you need to make this legging. You have your left leg panel, your right leg panel, back waistband, your front waistband, your gusset panel, your gusset liner, your tearaway care label, and your hang tag. So next steps in deconstructing this garment, we gotta figure out what the GSM is. For that, we're using our GSM cutter, and what that does is it cuts 1/100th of a square meter of fabric. All right, so it's 287 GSM. So in terms of legging fabric, that's definitely gonna be on the higher end. I believe Lululemon aligns around 215, 220 GSM, which makes sense because this feels a little bit thicker and more structured of a legging. So one additional benefit from a higher GSM legging fabric like this is that it's going to be a little bit thicker, it's going to be a little more structured. If you have cellulite, what's going to happen is it's actually going to smooth it over and make the dimples a little less noticeable. So to recap, this is a 82% polyester, 18% elastane. This is made in Vietnam. This is a non-brushed fabric. It's on the heavier weight side. Overall, the construction is really good. And the fabric's on the higher end. It's going to be fairly durable and it's going to last a long time. However, at $210 Canadian, 140, 150 US, if we're talking about just the garment itself, I don't think it's worth it. However, this is where branding comes in, because Alo has clearly done a great job in terms of branding itself as the cooler version of Lululemon. And that's what's making the difference in the price. It's the brand itself. But for us, to make this as Shift Fashion Group, it would probably cost us between $12 and $14. Let me know in the comments what you think about Alo. There you have it. This is what it costs.
With Asana, you can manage any kind of work, from project intake to campaign management.
Alo Yoga is ahead of its time and is beating Lululemon and Nike at their own game. The founders of Alo have utilized a powerful three-pronged strategy to make everyone from models, pop stars, and athletes obsessed with the yoga brand, which has become synonymous with high fashion and impressive yoga poses like these. What began as a small blip in a market dominated by Lululemon and Nike, this underdog from LA is quickly stealing market share from its older and bigger rivals. Alo's tiny size with its 78 brick-and-mortar stores doesn't compare to Lululemon's 686 store footprint, the company that invented the yoga pant. And Nike is Nike. With its 1,000 retail stores and global brand power, this is Nike's world and we're all just living in it. But despite lacking in size, Alo is making a serious run for the $338 billion athletic apparel industry. The company grew revenue from $200 million in 2020 to $1 billion in 2022. They plan to open a new store every single week in 2024 and are rumored to be seeking a $10 billion valuation. This is no small accomplishment in a crowded industry where scale and brand power are key. How has Alo Yoga managed to be so successful? I've spent hours talking to industry insiders and pouring through annual reports to fully understand what sets Alo apart in this ultra-competitive industry. And during my research, I found something that surprised me. Alo's meteoric rise is an excellent case study in business strategy, but what made the company successful in the first place might also be what ultimately breaks it. In this video, I want to show you what I learned. In 2013, researchers in Milan conducted a study. They had two people enter a luxury store. One person was wearing workout clothes and the other was wearing an elegant dress with a fur coat. The researchers then asked workers in the store which of the two people they thought had more purchase power, the person in the gym outfit or the person decked out in formal clothes. And the response was pretty surprising. The person in the workout outfit was perceived to be able to spend more money than the person dressed more elegantly. How come? Because gym clothes are not something you would typically wear when shopping for luxury items. And so by breaking this established social norm, the person in gym clothes was perceived to have both higher status and to be more competent. The researchers referred to this phenomenon as the red sneakers effect. No wonder casual streetwear has become the go-to choice for business execs and fraudsters. But of course, it hasn't always been this way. Back in the day, people wore formal clothes no matter the activity, even when working out. But then something interesting happened. Technological advancement in the late 19th century made us more productive, and as a society, we started working less. Between 1870 and 1938, the average work week was cut from 65 hours to 46 hours, and with it came a massive cultural shift. Suddenly, we had more free time for sports and leisure. We developed indoor gyms and workout clothes became more comfortable, eventually going from this to this to this. But the journey from this to this wouldn't have happened without Lululemon. Chip Wilson realized that the classic 1980s spandex outfit wasn't ideal for women who wanted to practice yoga. Or whatever those activities were that people did at the time. Yoga required a fabric that was both versatile and comfortable. So he founded Lululemon in 1998 on the premise that women needed a new type of pant, a yoga pant that had a V-shaped gusset in the crotch. This would allow for more comfort and functionality while stretching. And Chip's new innovation took the world by storm.
I love them for everyday wear, to walk around in, to do yoga.
Lululemon is one of my favorite clothing brands right now in the world.
Lulu has become a kind of the standard of what people wear.
Best hangout legging, best yoga legging. The Lululemon Align pants are
By 2007, Lululemon had gone public on Nasdaq and was raking in $275 million in revenue. In their first annual report as a public company, Lululemon listed several growth strategies, one of which was broadening the appeal of its products using product expansion. They outlined a plan to develop bags, undergarments, outerwear, and sandals for a wide range of activities including running, dance, and general fitness. Lululemon was slowly moving away from its core yoga focus. This created a unique opening for two childhood friends in Los Angeles. Alo, which is short for air, land, and ocean, was more of an accident than a carefully planned vision, at least initially. Marco DeGeorge and Danny Harris first met when they were 13, and their relationship quickly grew into a dynamic entrepreneurial partnership. They launched their first business right out of high school in 1992 and called it Color Image Apparel. It was the easiest business you can imagine, a screen printing company. They would buy blank off-the-shelf t-shirts, print logos on them, and sell them to businesses. But they had a big problem. It was close to impossible to find clothes that both had a great fit and feel, especially for women.
A lot of younger women were wearing our youth t-shirts and calling them baby doll tees, and people were looking for t-shirts for fashion.
So they decided to whip out the good old sewing machine and develop their own manufacturing process.
I mean, when we did that, I mean, it just exploded.
Yeah, we're onto something.
The company Bella was born, and they successfully sold wholesale apparel to brands like Banana Republic and Levi's. Witnessing the success of Bella, Marco and Danny figured they could create the same high-quality products in a men's line called Canvas. This attracted people like Mark Wahlberg, who wanted high-quality t-shirts to sell to fans. Marco and Danny were clearly onto something. They had two successful brands, but instead of running them as two separate entities, they merged them, forming Bella Canvas, a joint company that would become one of the largest manufacturers of wholesale apparel in the United States. But then something unexpected happened. Marco was hit with bad anxiety and Danny suffered from a back injury. The two friends, who were now both 34 years old, found a way to cope with their personal challenges through yoga. And quite frankly, it couldn't have happened at a better time. When Lululemon's explosive growth in the early 2000s forced the company to expand its addressable market and diversify away from yoga, Danny and Marco decided to double down on the still growing niche. Their personal connection to yoga's healing and transformative power enabled them to build a brand deeply rooted in the genuine benefits of the.
Okay, so I do think I'm starting to understand Aloe a bit more. Also, I do want to say sorry that I've been away from the camera a lot in this live stream. I literally thought someone was breaking into the house. Turns out it's a family member that is like literally coming in without warning. Oh my god, my lamp in the background just like on the thing. But earlier when I was covering Aloe, I heard a noise in the kitchen and I was like, well, no one else is supposed to be in the house. And I'm like, oh, let me go see what's going on. As I keep the video playing, I didn't even say anything to you guys. I go in the kitchen and it's literally one of my family members who's just come in for no reason and has ruined the plans of someone else and forcing them to be in the kitchen basically. And it's like, I thought I was getting robbed. I thought I was being robbed for a second. I was like, no one else is supposed to be home. Like, who is in the kitchen? And I see the doors open. I'm like, bro, we're getting robbed. And I get pissed off and I get an argument. And then I have to figure it out with someone else, like how to prevent someone to get into the house. It was a whole ordeal. I'm so sorry. What the hell? I don't know what's going on in this house. I like literally say I'm going to be live streaming for a certain time. And then everyone decides to do everything. And get into the house. That's supposed to be a house that's empty by this point. Like everyone else is like enjoying their Friday night. Like going to the park or like hanging out with friends. Like I'm alone at the house or should be alone at the house. And then everyone else decides to like basically sneak in. It's crazy. So I'm sorry for not being MIA or for being MIA. It's been a crazy day. Okay. I do want to see if there's any information about this other case that I've been seeing though, just to move on because I don't want to disclose any personal details because that would just escalate things. But basically, a certain brand is actually being taken to the U.S. Supreme Court for a trademark issue. So let's definitely take a look at that. Let me pull up my account. Let's see, there is not a lot of coverage on the vitements, I would like to say is the brand's name. But I've been following it quite loosely. I love fashion law. I love understanding like how we defend brands and like intellectual property. So let's take a look at this. I do need to check something though before I get started. So I think I'm gonna play a quick video before we talk about this, and then I'll be right back. Let's actually move over to the Sustainable Fashion Week and Vilnius that happened in Lithuania. Let's see. So this happened 7 days ago in Lithuania. They have their official sustainable fashion. They have their official sustainable fashion week. So let's move on over to this section and look at the sustainable fashion week for them. While I check something, I'll be right back.
Vėja tarp šlaunų. Jausti, kaip sukasi tavo suknelė. Jausti jos poeziją, erdvę, namus savo kūnui. Jausti, kad esi. Ir tau nereikia vaidinti. Jausti, kad esi ne viena. Kad už tavęs, su tavim, šalia yra daug kitų moterų. Jos tavo stiprybė. Jos jau viską išbuvo. Kad tu galėtum būti. Kad tu galėtum kvėpuoti. Kad tu galėtum juoktis. Kad tu galėtum eiti dideliu žingsniu. Kad tu galėtum stovėti. Jausti, kai nėra reikalavimo tavo pilvui būti plokščiam. Jausti, kad tavo klubai gali būti visokie. Ir šlaunys, ir rankos. Jausti, kad tavo pėdos yra laisvos, kad nori žengti. Jausti, kad tu gali apsigalvoti. Prisimink, kas esi. Žmogus. Kūnas. Širdis. Kvėpavimas. Kraujas. Pyktis. Jaudulys. Noras atsitraukti. Noras būti. Nežinojimas savo vietos. Būti vienai. Su savim. Savo kūnu. Su savo diena. Su savo garsu. Savo tyla. Savo rytu. Naktim. Savo kava. Savo sapnais. Savo pasakojimais. Su savo tuščiom rankom. Tiesiog būti. Gyventi. Prisiminti, kas esi. Visada susigrąžinti save. Atsistoti į savo vietą. Jausti savo šonkaulius, kaulus, savo DNR, savąjį aš, savo žemę, savo vagą, savo rėžį, savo augalą, savo dangų, savo mamą, savo raštą, savo simbolį, savo tautą. Esti. Ji nebūna. Ji esėja. Ji esatis. Kaip vydūnas, atskleidęs dvasios skaidrą. Kaip čiurlionis, atskleidęs tylinčios visatos skambesį. Kaip Marija Gimbutienė, atvėrusi moters esmę per širdies atpažinimą. Tu tik kvėpuok, tiek užtenka. Aš ta, kuri prisimena, ta, kuri pasakoja, kuri žino savimi kiekvieną simbolį, kiekvieną rėžį. Aš ta, kuri gyja pati. Pakelk akis ir niekada nenuleisk. Būk pamatyta, būk išgirsta. Tu esi ir aš esu. Visada būsiu. Aš nešiu tave, tu neši mane. Iki tol, kol ištirpsim. Ir vis tiek būsim. Dabar aš stoju į savo vietą.
I feel like this intro is taking forever. Okay, let's skip forward. I did just come back. I think I fixed the problem of the house intruder I was dealing with earlier. Okay, let's see. I wonder how we can fix the audio on this. Maybe just a little bit of audio. I may stream longer than just 3 hours. Maybe I'll stream a bit longer today. I would love to go to the next Sustainable Fashion Week in Lithuania. The fashion show is so pretty. I love this fashion show. That's like a legit business. Oh my gosh. I love that moss outfit. It's so pretty.
Austėja Martišiūtė, pasitikite.
Let's listen to the music.
Austėja Martišiūtė ir jos ežero istorijos ką tik pražygiavo šiuo podiumu. O mes dar kartą palydime į Green Roomą jūsų nuoširdžiais, labai šiltais plojimais Austėja. Indre, žodis tau.
Taip, ačiū.
I don't know what they're saying. Oh my god, he sounded so fancy though. Okay. There's no like English translations either. Oh my gosh.
Kaip tu pati jautėsi pereidama per tiek asmeninės
Oh my god, they had so many sponsors. So I guess
istorijos?
one thing that we can learn from this is that they had a lot of sponsors. So there was tech companies, there was hotels, there was cosmetic brands, villainous, different fashion weeks, Origins, Mac, European Green Capital. Wow, they had a lot of funders. I do want to know the backstory of this Sustainable Fashion Week. I'm not sure if we're going to see anything or find anything given how new it is. I'm sure it's like their first one because I've never heard of it. But the setup was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. Okay, let's see this TikTok. Oh. Maybe later. Oh, those are such cool pieces. Yeah, I definitely want to go next year. What language do they speak? Oh. I think the Sustainable Fashion Week was part of the Vilnius Fashion Week. And it started off with a Sustainable Fashion Day. And there was a town hall. And the vibe was save the planet, but make it hot. Oh my god, that's so cute. I love that. What? We definitely have to go next year. Okay, so if we go back to this article, let's read this. This is what I mainly wanted to talk about. So basically, this brand is having a trademark fight to the U.S. Supreme Court. So basically, it says the French brand, has turned to the U.S. Supreme Court with a request to review a trademark case. The company is challenging a decision by a lower court that rejected its trademark application for the name Vetements. At the crux of the issue is the question of whether the brand name, which means clothing in French, can be trademarked in the U.S. The company argues the legal system is wrong to rely on the English translation of a foreign word to determine if it can be trademarked. Vetements' initial application was denied by the U.S. Trademark Office because the word was considered too generic for a clothing brand. Oh my god, that's so rude on their part. Guys, it's too generic. It's literally the word clothing in French, guys. Be original. A U.S. appeals court agreed with the ruling, determining that enough Americans would understand the word's French meaning. I love French, and I wouldn't know the meaning of that. In response, Vetements saying that judging a non-English trademark by its translation is unfair and doesn't reflect how consumers actually perceive the brand. The company believes a brand name should be judged on its own merit, not just its literal translation. The brand also points out the different courts in the U.S. have conflicting views on the issue, making the case suitable for the Supreme Court to clarify. By taking up the case, the Supreme Court would establish a clear rule for how foreign words are handled in U.S. trademark law. So very interesting case. It's like, well, can you really use the word fashion in French to describe a fashion brand for English consumers? Because it may be too generic. Like, why would you call a brand fashion when it's a fashion brand? Some people would say it makes no sense and all the sense at the same time. But that's so interesting. I wonder, would you name your brand fashion? This is quite literally my fashion brand. Imagine if I made my collection called ropa, which is the word for fashion in Spanish. Ropa. I'm sure that other people have included the name or the word ropa in their fashion brand. Like, I feel like either we use or try to use just that one word or a combination of words like ropa chic, like chic fashion. I feel like we'll always use the word fashion in a fashion brand or somehow incorporate it. I don't know any examples for like the Western brands that we all love and see, but in Mexico, especially in the Spanish language, they use ropa, the word ropa meaning fashion, a lot in the brand name itself, which is very interesting. Okay, so we're gonna move on and go into some other news that I did see that I want to cover. So there's a lot more people expanding within the rental world, especially luxury renting. We've talked about it in the past, but what made this one interesting for me to talk about is the AI try-on feature. So Fashion United made an article featuring Janet Mandell, who is this person right here, who has basically carved out a niche, which is couture level service that is pairing circular fashion ethos alongside with it. So she has showrooms. She has showrooms in New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago. I'm based near Chicago, so I could definitely go look at the showroom, to be honest. And she's built her business to not only provide access to her 6,000 designer pieces, but also a space to care for clients as though they were stepping onto a Parisian couture house, which is a bold statement, especially if you're in New York, Los Angeles, or Chicago. But she explained to Fashion United that the traditional rental model was missing the A-class service experience. She says that, to me, it is about so much more than renting a gown. It is about ensuring that every woman leaves feeling confident, supported, and extraordinary in her choices. That philosophy is reinforced by on-site tailoring, last-minute styling, and a focus on detail intended to elevate rental in a luxury experience. Now Mandell is expanding her model with 2 new initiatives: a consignment service designed to extend the life cycle of a client's wardrobes, and AI-powered virtual avatars that let users try on looks digitally. Both underscore her ambition to position Janet Mandell not only as a rental platform, but a purveyor of luxury, technology, and circular fashion. And what makes her different apparently is the use of AI. So she has a lot of data-driven decision making, and also she also has a strong client relationship. She talks to stylists, celebrities, and private clients, and they arrive at specific requests, and then they seek guidance, blah blah blah. So like a stylist basically. So that's cool. It's just there's a lot of money. There's a lot of money to be made on the issues of the fashion industry, and I feel like a lot more people are tapping in. And then she did say that she launched a AI powered platform to allow clients to try on looks virtually. So the details remain limited ahead of a rollout later this year, but she said the innovation will absolutely transform the way clients experience our brand. Okay, let's see what else. I mean, I love sustainable fashion. I do have some contentious ideas around AI, so I don't even know if I would be open to going to one of those showrooms that have AI in it. Maybe it'd be fun to like think about innovation in this way, but I feel wary of AI. I feel very wary of AI. I use it sometimes for photos. I'll be honest about that, because photos are very expensive to obtain the rights to. But other than that, I don't. If you don't need it, don't use it, basically. And she will feature her AI usage in a runway show. Her showroom will basically be like an example of the rental space of top vintage curators. She says that she doesn't follow trends, we create them. As a sustainable fashion like advocate, like I don't ever think I'm gonna say let's make our own trends. Like I would never want to encourage new trends. I feel like that's just gonna create an endless cycle of consumerism and like just perpetuating this idea of like continuously making and disposing of things, because that's what fast fashion defines trends, and I feel like that's what people are gonna think of trends naturally. So I don't want to perpetuate trends, and I don't really need to use AI platforms. If I'm there in person, I'll just try on the items. I feel like it's redundant to use an AI driven software service if the clothing is right there with me. Like If there's no way to have access to the item and it's like worst case emergency, then I'll use like that service. But like that's worst case scenario, like there's no other option and it's a life and death. And I feel like the only time it'll be life and death for fashion is like a wedding, because it's literally maybe only supposed to happen once, you know? But yeah, let's move on, because I do want to talk about this partnership that Abercrombie and Fitch established with NFL. It's caused a lot more partnerships to happen that are quite contentious, but this is also an article by Fashion United, and they've basically partnered with the National Football League, and this will be a multi-year agreement, and it will carry out athletic-led campaigns and offer a series of player design apparel to build on its lifestyle assortment. So in their release, Abercrombie explained that it will blur the lines between outfits worn during the game day arrivals and everyday wear for both female and male fans, as well as players. So they're going to have their brand in the tentpole events. There's going to be some apparel in the international games, and then within the global retail space. I mean, I feel like this is not good because it just perpetuates more consumption. And if there is no guaranteed like well-being for the workers, and there's like nothing being made ethically, again, it's just for the pockets of major brands that have already way too much money in their pockets. So this campaign specifically is going to be working with 32 NFL teams. They're going to be in select stores, Abercrombie stores as well. And they want to grow as a leader in the fashion community by creating deeper connections with fans at the convergence of fandom and fashion. And Abercrombie has actually had a long-standing relationship with the NFL and its athletes, which I didn't realize. I mean, you wouldn't immediately connect Abercrombie with NFL. So I am curious how this will actually concretely look like, how they'll make athletic wear more like contemporary or for everyday use, to be honest. I don't think it's a casual relationship. I feel like there is a lot of money to be made, as they were themselves saying. So let's go ahead and look at the reports, the news that have been coming out about this.
We've got passion, we've got
La-dee, la-dee, la. Commercials, 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 commercials.
Yes. Sticking with the NFL, Abercrombie & Fitch just announcing a new multi-year fashion partnership with the NFL. As part of the deal, Abercrombie will also team up with select players like 49ers, Christian McCaffrey, the Lions, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and the Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb, to design limited edition apparel. For more on the partnership and the company's recently released Q2 results, let's bring in Abercrombie & Fitch CEO Fran Horowitz. Welcome back, Fran. It's good to have you.
Hey, Sarah. Thanks for having me.
So is this going to be like F1 when it comes to the partnership and the clothing?
So the first official fashion partner of the NFL, a first for us and a first for them, an exciting, exciting day. It's a bit more extensive than that, quite frankly. This partnership did start very authentically several years ago, similar to F1, where it was about licensing. We started off with 5 teams, testing and learning our way, had great success. Today, we represent 32 teams. We started in men's, we've added women's, we've added kids. In fact, we've even added pets to that assortment. So what this enables us to do is go beyond just licensing product. It enables us to be at events throughout the season. We've also launched a style concierge program with many of the players that you mentioned at the kickoff today. So there's a lot of exciting things associated with it.
And what are you hoping to do here from a top-line perspective and customer acquisition?
Exactly. So what brought us together is the fact that our consumer told us that the NFL is a very important part of their life. And as you know, we stayed very close to the customer. With those facts, we said, okay, let's understand, make sure we are there where sports and culture and fashion are all coming together. So yes, brand awareness is key. Half the fandom for the NFL is actually female, so there's an opportunity for both male and female consumers to really participate in this partnership.
Do you think you're going to be competing with fanatics, or is this a totally different kind of crowd?
I mean, I think that the opportunity is there for both. It's a very big marketplace. There's, tens of millions of customers who tune in every weekend. And ours goes honestly beyond just the apparel for the NFL specifically. It's helping them dress for pregame, for after game, for their game day, help them represent themselves in their favorite teams as well as beyond.
Fran, I wonder more on consumer fundamentals, whether or not we're putting any merit into this, say, this PwC survey showing that we're not looking for a robust holiday season.
Well, you know what? I saw that survey as well. Our opportunity, Abercrombie and Hollister, is to make sure that we align our product, our voice, and our experience for that consumer, whether the economy is strong or not strong. The customer has a choice on where they're going to shop, and it's our job to make sure that we give them a great opportunity to do that with our brands.
Is the appeals court decision on tariffs, manifesting itself in more uncertainty in the boardroom, or at least in your logistics office?
I think tariffs at this point, we've managed through a lot of challenges in the past several years. This is just another one. We've got a very strong, resilient playbook, which we've put to use already, and we will continue to put to use. I tell the team all the time, control what you can control, which is exactly what they come to work every day to do.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it.
All I hear when I listen to these news reports is money, 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 money. I don't want to know, though, what this will look like. What is this collection going to look like? Oh, they have official commercials already? How official. Oh, wow. Okay, let's see. Seems very urban. Urban fashion, denim. We see some jerseys. Let's take a look.
Yeah, it's about that time. Abercrombie got me right.
I'd wear this anywhere. I looks great. Abercrombie always get me right.
Check out the fit. Oh, that's hard.
Very comfortable pants, sweatshirt that I like. Yeah, this fit is sweet. Love it. Hey, man. What's up, man? Looking good. Appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Abercrombie, official fashion partner of the NFL.
Very comfortable pants. Oh my gosh. This was posted by the Media Post Live. I wonder how they got access to that video. Interesting.
Yeah, it's about that time. Abercrombie got me right.
I didn't know they were trying to have a comeback. Like, I have never
I'd
heard
wear
my
this
friends
anywhere.
say
That looks
is
great. Abercrombie
from
always get me right.
Abercrombie. But it used to
Check
be
out
like
the
a guy
fit.
shop. Every time I
that's
walk
hard.
past that store in the mall,
Very
there's
comfortable
always
pants, sweatshirt that I like. Yeah, this fit is
guy
sweet.
in front of
Love it.
the door, and I was
Man.
always so
Looking
intimidated.
good. Yes, sir.
Abercrombie, official fashion partner of the
Been
NFL.
in that actual store, but it's been targeted to guys. And if people like guys like sports, then obviously they're gonna buy NFL, right? That's the only logical sense here. Boys, fashion, NFL, combine them together, partnership. I do want to know like how many collections they're gonna release, where it's made, like all that information, because it's important. Also, like, I don't get sports, so when people talk about all these teams and all the games, I just don't know what to say. I don't know what to think. It's never been in my worldview, I guess, to like care about those things. And allegedly I work in a place that specializes in athletics, and one guy was like, how do you like the job? I'm like, well, I don't know anything about the job, to be honest. I don't know why people sign up for stuff. I don't know why they care so much. He didn't answer back. He seems like a really nice guy, but he just didn't answer back. He's a very introverted guy. I think no, I'm not gonna say. He's in La La Land most of the times. I don't know. I can't prove it. Maybe he's just a nice guy. He's just checked out, maybe. I don't know. I don't know him, but he didn't really answer me back when I was like, yeah, I don't know what sports is. Maybe he was saying something in his head out of professionalism, but didn't really vocalize it to me. but he specializes in sports stuff, and I'm like, the man is definitely hating me in his head. He definitely hates me after I said that, but it's fine. I'm just a receptionist. I'm just a girl. And then to add on to the sports world, collaborating with fast fashion, we do have the American Eagle Travis Kelce collab. So Fashion Dev actually covers this, and it's giving what we just covered with the Abercrombie and Fitch with the NFL. It's giving the same energy. They all had the same strategic decision to work with a sports brand. Here, let me share it over with you. So this is by Fashion Dive. It's the American Eagle Travis Kelce collab, and it extends the celebrity-led marketing streak. I'm not excited about this one. I mean, the clothing kind of looks cool. I would prefer wearing this than the Abercrombie and Fitch items, but I feel like the other brand is more geared to men and like basic items that kind of look athleisure-like. Well, this is more like streetwear, more urban. So, and if you don't know who Travis is, he recently got engaged with Taylor Swift, so I think American Eagle is set to make a lot of money this year with this collaboration. All the Swifties are going to American Eagle. Yes, sir. It's going to be hella bad for fast fashion, but really good for that brand's pocketbooks. So let's listen.
American Eagle's Travis Kelce collab extends celebrity-led marketing streak. Dive brief. American Eagle has partnered with True Colors, NFL star Travis Kelce's apparel and lifestyle brand, on a capsule collection and accompanying ad campaign, according to a press release. The collaboration, which has been in the works for over a year, features vintage and sportswear-inspired offerings curated by creative director Kelce, including heavyweight t-shirts, varsity jackets and cashmere sets. An ad campaign rooted in the collection's Live to Play ethos spans social media, podcasts, out-of-home, connected TV, CTV, and fantasy sports content takeovers. The news extends American Eagle's work with taste-making celebrities following a high-profile and highly controversial campaign with Sydney Sweeney earlier this summer. The timing of the True Colors announcement also capitalizes on excitement around this week's news around Kelce's engagement to pop megastar Taylor Swift. Dive insight. American Eagle is exiting a tumultuous news cycle with another A-list collaboration that is sure to spark discussion, but one that may be less prone to outcry. Kelce established True Colors in 2019 and is raising awareness for his brand by linking with an established retailer that draws a predominantly Gen Z shopper base. The limited-time collection, officially called AX True Colors by Travis Kelce, lands in 2 drops featuring over 90 pieces meant to embody Kelce's personal style, with the first going live August 27th and the second on September 24th, aligning with the back-to-school period. Prices range between $14.95 and $179.95. Such a team-up would likely draw interest of its own accord, but arrives just a day after the Kansas City Chiefs tight end and Taylor Swift publicly announced their engagement, an eagerly anticipated development that has set off frenzied media activity, not to mention plenty of brands seizing on the news. Swift also happens to be in the midst of ramping up a new album cycle while NFL season kickoff is just around the corner. In addition, American Eagle is rolling out a global campaign that could generate further excitement. AX True Colors by Travis Kelce will be promoted through a CTV push described as extensive in the announcement, among other high-impact media placements. The brands are working with the Ringer podcast network, which blends sports and pop culture commentary, and running targeted ads, including in the Chiefs' hometown of Kansas City. Beyond Kelce, marketing materials spotlight other famous and rising star athletes, such as tennis player Anna Frey, basketball guard Azzi Fudd, quarterback Drew Allar, wide receiver recruit Jeremiah Smith, basketball prospect Kian Anthony, and gold medalist gymnast Suni Lee. The Kelce tie-up could deliver a bounce-back moment for American Eagle, which has weathered intense backlash in recent weeks. The retailer's back-to-school campaign, its most expensive to date, starred Euphoria actor Sydney Sweeney and ended up landing in the culture war's crosshairs. One social video attached to the campaign emphasized wordplay between the concept of having great jeans in Sweeney's case, white and blonde, and wearing good jeans. Critics saw problematic undertones in the perceived toying with eugenics, while others thought the larger effort's sexed-up approach missed the mark with American Eagle's core audience. American Eagle has defended the work, arguing it was always about its denim.
Very interesting indeed. So, I don't buy from these brands, but what I can say is that the Swifties and the Travis Scotties are gonna eat this up. They're gonna eat it up. Do you notice how they're all Gen Z as well? And he's an NFL star, so I wonder if he's going to be in the Abercrombie and Fitch campaigns and then with this, or if he has an exclusive deal with American Eagle that doesn't allow him to work with Abercrombie and Fitch. We'll come to see that tension as this collaboration emerges. But the Swifties, man, they're going to be wearing all these items. The Sherpa jackets, the oversized. I love these tops. I get these from the thrift store all the time. I actually really like this scarf. It kind of looks like a Coach pattern. And then this looks like wildlife, like outdoorsy gear, but I like the floral detail on there. So it does give like more nature vibes, very muted browns, very muted greens, very basic items. I feel like this would be good for like a fall season. So I think it's gonna work really well for those that want a new look. And it's live. Oh, well, he went live. And then the second one will go September 24th. So the second drop is coming soon. I will look up the items to see what the selling points are, because how was it made? Okay, so here it is. August 27th, it first came out. So these pants are already sold out, and they went for $80. That's pretty expensive for a fast fashion brand, if you ask me. And then these cargo pants are $80. They're more expensive than a vintage shop one, because I work at a vintage shop and they sell cargo pants and they literally retail for $40. So these quote-unquote new ones they retail for more than vintage ones, which is interesting to note. More cargo pants for $80. These hats, suede baseball hats, $35. Pretty expensive for a hat, especially a fast fashion company. Another hats, beanies, $35 for a beanie is quite expensive. They're all $35. This Coach looking bag, $40. $40 is pretty expensive. Canvas tote bag, $80. That's a lot of money for a tote bag. The shirt's $40. Oh my god, that is a bit pricey. If you look at this from the outside looking in, I feel like these don't really scream special. It just says Manifest Mart. What is Manifest Mart even supposed to mean? And then on the back it says Fresh Vibes Daily. It looks like any other fast fashion shirt, to be honest. And for $40, it's crazy. And supposedly it says exclusively ours and made with the planet in mind. Then when you look at the details, it says it's an exclusive limited edition collab. Sorry. Oh my god, not the lived in wash for a vintage vibe. I lived in wash? What does that mean? Like they power wash this in their sweatshop to make it seem like it's a vintage vibe, as they charge you $40 just because it's an American Eagle and Travis Kelce collab. Like, it's still gonna be fast fashion even when you power wash this sucker to be vintage feel. That's how much they're catering to Gen Z's interests in sustainable fashion. They're gonna power wash it so it gives a vintage feel. Then why buy it new? Like, when I buy something new, I want it in pristine condition, not like power wash to vintage. Like, that means they like literally took use out of it. Like, they made it old on purpose. I don't need that. I'm buying it new for a reason. That's just me. Okay, let's go back to see the other pieces. Again, all these items look like they're fast fashion, but just too overpriced. Why do you need a shirt that says courtside tennis social country club Le Hotel 87? Is that like some Taylor Swift lore? Manifest your mindset? What does that even mean? American Eagle True Colors? Is that a tennis court? What is that? What am I looking at? What is this? Welcome to our world of luxury and leisure where you can play, compete, relax, unwind, and reset your mindset. Why is it so mindset heavy? What is going on? What is this? I don't understand. Hello, Marissa. We're looking at the American Eagle weird collab with Travis. And the thing is, like, in demand, yet 37 have added to their bag. Why haven't they bought it? What is this, too? The True Colors A Eagle, abbreviated for American Eagle. What the heck? I kind of like this one. They may say this is unisex because they did put the same hoodie on a girl in the promo pictures. I love these sort of sweatshirts. I buy them vintage all the time, but $60 is kind of pricey. Did they power wash this one to seem vintage as well? Because that would not be fun. Oh no, at a glance, no, they didn't power wash that sucker. But yeah, it's over here on this girl, so it can be unisex. I mean, anything can be unisex as long as you put it on and love it. Then it doesn't matter what it's labeled, right? True Colors? Why would they spell colors with a K? I just don't get it. It screams fast fashion. This is a bit more athleisure. This is athleisure with the set. $80 for a set though is crazy. Lauren from Twitch says, hey, how it going? It's going, girl. We're looking at fast fashion and the Travis collection. Everything is so pricey. It's so pricey. Like this $55 sweater polo. I would never, as a guy, wear that. But again, I'm not a guy. I don't know if this is what they like as fashion. It kind of feels like academic, sportsy vibe. It's like I want to be cool and smart, but not try too hard, you know? Let me be basic, but not too basic. This jacket, $80? How do you justify these prices? Some sustainable fashion brands have Lauren asks, do you do reactions? Yeah, I game and I do reactions. I mostly talk about fashion. I guess if you want to say that I'm reacting, yeah, I'm reacting. But I do have some educational takes here and there, but I love to explore what's happening in the fashion industry. I love fashion. But like, with $80, that's what other sustainable fashion brands typically charge for their stuff, and it's ethically made. So how are they justifying charging the $80 to $90 price point? I don't know. Is it the material? They don't even specify. Is it here? It has a cotton canvas, collared neck, soft corduroy trim, concealed snap closure with additional zipper closure, gold tone logo hardware. Lauren says, I don't know much about fashion, but maybe you could react to my artwork. Whoa, that was smooth. That was smooth, actually. I was about to ask you, how did you even discover my Twitch stream? But yeah, I don't know how they justify these prices. The socks are $15. That's crazy. And they didn't even use female models. Ugh, men. They only use us when they need us, but not actually in reality. They honor us. Like, where's the woman at? Where's the Swifties at? That was a major marketing miss on their end. Get some Swifties in there. Dang. Okay, so let's move on because I do want to talk about something else. So basically, I saw how H&M has a actual equestrian brand rolling out. If you know anything about me, I'm a huge equestrian brand fan. So growing up, I wanted to be a horse girl. I wore the horse outfits. I wanted to be in horse camps. Like, all I did was read about girls going and training their horses and having a bond with them and roaming around outside and living the adventures I can only dream of. It was my whole thing as a kid. Like, I wanted to be this girl. And I still want to be that girl. Like, I want to be someone that can train horses, ride horses. Like, I love animals. It's just I've never had the opportunity to do this. Like, in an alternate universe, I could go back and be like a horse person, a horse lover, horse owner, horse trainer, a horse competitor, competitions, all of it. All my words are escaping me because I got so excited thinking about it. It's like, but I loved watching these here, the girl horse competitions. Let's see. I would watch this as a kid. I was obsessed with these. The equestrian games.
This the individual final. We're down to the last competitor of the 2018 FEI jumping at the World Equestrian Games.
I lived for these moments. Like, I imagined myself as the girl. I love the fashion.
For sure.
I love the companionship they had with the horse. The sense of solidarity
on the podium, and we'll know in just a few moments' time as Simone Blum
being in
for
tune
Germany
and being one with the animal.
2017
I was like, if I had a horse, I'd be the best
DSP
friend of that horse. We'd understand each other on a telepathic level. Like, this is what I always wanted to be as a kid. Like, yes, I loved fashion, and I would always be fashion. Wait, what? I would always be a fashion lover, a fashion designer. And I would watch these shows as I sewed, as I did my projects, as I sketched, and I would imagine myself in this world. So in my head, I was always like the fashion designer slash equestrian rider. But my parents never had money, so I was forced to stick to my books and stick to my sketchbook. But I would have loved to do this as a kid. I think it would have really have broken me out of my shell. I was so introverted, and I still am very introverted, but I think if I had been forced to leave my house and do like horse training stuff, it would have been really great for my self-esteem, and it would have allowed me to have friends in a very structured way, because this is basically training all day, every day, and like really understanding strategy and precision, and it's very tactical. Like, you have to time it very perfectly. You have to take account the stride of the animal. You have to be thinking. Like, it's a very precise, intense, focused art, and you need to control the animal, and the animal needs to trust you. So it's like a good combination of like emotional and logical usage, you know, of like your skills. And the more precise you are, the more assertive you are, I guess, the better the animal responds, because it is following your lead. And it's like, I'm gonna hug and love that horse my whole life. Yeah, that's what I used to do as a child. Just imagine myself being equestrian. And I love the fashion because of it. So when H&M rolled out this, I was like, well, that kind of reminded me of my childhood. And they're going to have it be called the All-In Equestrian, and it's going to be in Europe, and it's going to offer a range of products. So it's going to be for both the horse and the rider. Like, I would have ate this up if I was a kid. I am not a fan of H&M. Oh my god, I'm going to get copyright strike because I play that video. Dang it, every time. But yeah, this brand was launched late 2023, and I don't know. Would I buy it? Maybe not. I'd probably buy it used on Depop, to be honest. But yeah, they're collaborating with top sport athletes for their autumn and winter 2025 collection. So yeah, it'll be chic, stylish, modern, casual, comfortable. I do want to check out what they currently have, because honestly, I want to dress like this when I'm not wearing my other pieces. That would be so cool. Honestly, my dream is to dress up like an equestrian and just walk around London. If I can do that, my life is great. I've made it in life. You know, I've made it in life. I can walk around London in an equestrian inspired outfit. Okay. My screen is turning pink because of the light change, but let's see. We do have a couple more things to talk about, and then we'll jump off. But I do want to look at the pieces. Okay, let's see. Is this a whole different website? Oh my god, it's in a whole different website. It's almost like they want to detach themselves from H&M. So do we buy their stuff? Oh, shop now at H&M. But they have a separate site. Is this fake? I think this is a fake site. I think it is a fake site. Why would they make this site? Okay, that's kind of weird. Okay, so here is... It's in a whole different language. Oh. Why? What language is this? Dam? It's like... German? Is this German? I think it's German. Do I get $5 if it's German? That's a beautiful vision. I hope you're able to live that dream. I have so many dreams. I'm telling you, if I had been a Nepo baby, I would have so many skills right now. I would have been a horse rider. I would have been a fashion designer. I would have done so many things. But oh, I wanted to play the flute growing up as well, but they didn't have money, so I never learned how to play the flute. See, this is what poverty does to you. It robs you from opportunities. But it's okay. I mean, I got what I got, and it turned me to be the person that I am now, so that's fine. Everything happens for a reason, right? Is it Danish? It's Danish! Okay. Where do people speak Danish at? Danish is Denmark, right? Denmark speaks... language. Oh yes, Denmark. I got it right. Okay, so this is targeted to Denmark consumers. Wow. Okay, okay. Oh, I love this. I feel like I would wear this for like athleisure wear to go to the gym. I love the boots. But again, like H&M doesn't have the best production practices, so like I would feel kind of iffy wearing this. Oh my god, this outfit in London would be a dream. One day it'll happen, one day. Once I have money. One day. Oh my god, this one's cute. I would totally wear this. Like the minimalism here. This. Love that. That's cute. I should go volunteer at a horse place. So where I live in my city, there's something called ranchos or ranches, and they have horses. And there's actually a really famous like girl group that does horse races in traditional Mexican wear, and I think I'd get along with them really well, but I've never explored the option, to be honest. I'm not sure why. Maybe because it's volunteer work or something, but I've only recently lived in my home city for 1 year, and I've been away for a long time. So maybe that can be a hobby of go visiting that ranch and like meeting a horse there. And maybe they can teach me how to ride in exchange for volunteering or cleaning up, because they do have a lot of events. They have a lot of like Latino party events basically. But other than that, outside of those parties, they just have those animals for like their own usage or something. I don't know. Oh my god, this one is so cool. I love this one. The navy though, I prefer it in what's it called? Dark wash. The black. Oh my god, I don't even know what the color is anymore. Probably have to jump off this live stream. Oh my god, I love this look. Oh my god, this one. This look is beautiful. I would wear this. That one. I'm pointing at it. You can definitely tell I'm checked out if I'm pointing. This one. Dang. Oh my gosh, I love these looks. Brah. Okay, maybe I should go visit that one place. Teach me how to ride a horse at 28 years old. I break all my bones. That's my worst fear. Wait, let's see what it's called. Juliet Equestrian Group. Juliet Horse Riders. Where is it? Female team. Where is it? There's a very famous group that got interviewed that does horse stuff in my city. I don't think I'm going to be able to find it, but it's fine. Marissa says, that's all thriftable. Yes, go volunteer. I grew up riding horses and playing flute. Oh my god, you lived my dream life. Even though I lived in the head, money isn't the only way to live that dream. How did you ride horses in the hood? Where were the horses at? Girl is a boss queen. No, quite literally, I couldn't play flute though because it costs so much money to like buy the actual equipment. Like I'm talking poor. My dad did not make more than 15,000, and he was raising a family of like 2 other kids and my mother. Like it was poor. It was like 15K or less than that for like 4 or 5 people. And my mom didn't work for our whole childhood. So it was like I qualified for a fast one. They were not going to spend money on a flute. But I should learn. I also want to learn the bass guitar. I mean, all these things I can do. Like as an adult, I can do these things as a hobby. But I've never invested time into hobbies. So I should do it. Oh my god, there's so many things I need to do. There's only so much time in the day. Dang it. Oh, okay. Okay, I was going to do bass guitar. This is the last tangent before I finish the news off. I'm probably going to get off of the, what you call it? Live stream. Charity gala is what I want to do. Learn the bass guitar. Learn the guitar. Learn the flute. Get a Dalmatian puppy. Play all the games. Oh my god, there's so much to live for, guys. Oh my god, this is so cool. I want to be here. I love this. Dang. One of my friends in college was like, I'll teach you how to play bass guitar because he knows how to play bass guitar. And I was like, no, I need to go to my classes and be a good student. I was such a nerd. Okay. Oh, so yes, I will thrift this. Yeah, that's a good point. I can go on Depop and find these things. I can just, on my own free will, dress like this. That's cray. I also recently discovered grunge glam, and I've been obsessed with it. Let me pull up my Pinterest. Marissa says, I got to do all that with the scholarship / rental / volunteering. I'm calling that dream in for you. You deserve it. I deserve it. That's so good that you got scholarships and rentals and volunteering. Yeah, I mean, I can do these things. It's just, you need to go do it. Yeah, it's close by. Like, the ranch is close by. My parents know people that know people. Like, I can always pick up a flute and learn. There's so many YouTube videos. Yeah, I just have to go do it. So thank you. Thank you for the calling that in for me. I appreciate it. Okay, grunge glam. I'm so obsessed with it. I want to dress like this. I kind of already do. It's just not with the tops. But I do wear the jackets, the pants, and the boots. So I just need the tops. So it's an easy fix. And then the makeup. I need to fix my makeup. And then if I straighten my hair, I'm going to be grunge glam. I'm gonna be grunge glam. Cause I'm like kind of feminine, but like kind of like edgy. Like I have a resting bitch face, and I'm naturally not a golden retriever. Like I like to intimidate people so they don't have to go up to me because I don't like small talk in public. So IRLs, I would want to look like this, but at the same time I want to look like this. And then at the same time I want to look, I have identity crises sometimes because I'm like, what would I want to look like? But then every day you get to choose. Maybe on Mondays I'm the equestrian girl. On Tuesdays I'm the grunge glam girl. And then on Wednesdays I get to dress like a fairy princess like this. You know? That kind of makes sense. Right? So we said Mondays we look like this. Tuesdays we look like this. And then Wednesdays we look like this. And then Thursdays we look like a hobo. And then on Fridays, what should we look like? On Fridays we should look like, oh, that's a lot of cute stuff. Fridays will look like my culture. Fridays is cultural wear. I love cute stuff. Oh my god, I would want to wear this forever. See, I'm not confident enough to wear this yet, but I would wear this for parties. Cultural wear would look like, what would it look like? Do I have a board for that? Oh my god, see? I have an equestrian style outfit board. When did I make this? Oh, she looks so great. Oh my god, she looks so great. Ugh. What's the cultural wear one? I don't see it. Oh, it's over here. Okay, so I would look like this on Fridays. Yes, queen. I would look like this. Urban Latina. Yes. Okay. Oh my gosh, if I was a millionaire, I'd have so much things to do. I would never be bored. How do you get bored? I always have a million things I want to do. Dang it. I have too much to do, so little time. But okay, so I need to talk about this though. The Salvation Army has just launched a UK-wide campaign to divert unwanted textiles away from disposable. What does that mean? I don't know. From disposable. I think from the landfill. From disposable, yeah, from the landfill. Which I find really cool. Salvation Army is like known in the United States, and for them to have a UK-wide campaign is great. So they're going to urge brands and retailers to donate unwanted stocks, faulty stock, and customer returns to help divert more items away from disposable and raise vital funds for charity. Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it so much. I wonder if Salvation Army is more popular in the UK than here in the United States, or how different they are. But they're going to partner with brands and retailers to accept excess, returned, and end-of-life stock of clothing and home goods to be resold in its charity shops across the country. So this is a way for brands to save additional storage costs, create more room in their warehouse for new stock, and divert more items away from disposable. So the thing is, like when they say create more room in their warehouse for new stock, for fashion brands, that just gives them more ability to like perpetuate fast fashion, which I don't like. So in a way, like it can still push for more fashion consumption, which you know, that's not the point here. But that's so cool. I love it. I wish everyone was doing this. I will take your stuff so you don't have to throw it in the landfill. Honestly, when I was working in a thrift store, I saw so much things being held in the back of the thrift store that was waiting to be collected by clothing textile companies that would charge by the pound. And sometimes it was cents. It's like sometimes it was 20-30 cents per pound. And I don't know what's the average weight of a bag filled with clothing? Let me ask Google AI. I may jump off soon just because I quite literally can't talk anymore. Okay, let's see. How much does what was it saying? Garbage bag typically weigh if it's filled with unwanted clothing? It says a typical 13-gallon garbage bag filled with unwanted clothing will weigh about 15 pounds. So let's say the average is 15 pounds and then they charge or they give 30 cents per pound of the bag. 30 cents. It was probably less than 30 cents, to be honest. It was like 20 cents. Well, let's just do 30 cents to be generous. It'd be $4.50 per bag. And on average, we had like over 100 bags. So on average, it'd be like 150 bags probably. For $4.50 a bag, it'd be like $675. And that was monthly. That was a monthly profit of almost $700 to have that textile recycling company come and collect their unwanted things. But they used to pay like $1 per the pound, and then it went down to 30 cents because they were the only textile recycling company in the area, and so they had no competition. And I'm like, what if I became the competition, where I'm the one that goes to the thrift stores, collects their unwanted clothing, gives them a good price? Because like $1 for a pound of clothing is really cheap. But like if you go to the Goodwill bins, they literally charge like, what is it, $1.25 or something for the pound of clothing that you get. So I'd basically be paying less for the items than what Goodwill charges to customers. But 30 cents per pound is crazy. That's like dirt cheap. It's a scam. They're scamming the thrift stores, but the thrift stores were happy to give it to them. Like, they didn't need it anymore. They didn't want it anymore. It was just sitting there, and it was like a needed service. Okay. I think we're set for today. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. I mean, there's other stuff, obviously. Like, I can keep going and going. I guess one other thing that I want to share is how Kmart is using forced labor, which is crazy to think about. I didn't even know Kmart was in operation. I thought they closed. That's the thing I'm curious about. Like, how are they still doing wacky stuff? I thought they disappeared from the face of the earth. So let's take a look at this, and then we'll end off there. It's happening in Australia, by the way. So maybe they have some current Kmarts in Australia? What? Why?
Australian Uyghurs are taking legal action against retail giant Kmart in federal court, seeking documents to determine whether the retailer has sourced some of its products from factories linked to forced labour camps in Western China. Kmart has denied the claims. National Work reporter Bronwyn Herbert is with us now. Hi, Bronwyn. So what's happened?
So, Roz, the Australian Women's Uyghur Association has just filed in the federal court an application essentially seeking preliminary documents from Kmart to under consumer law to show that it's not engaging in misleading or deceptive conduct, really in relation to its ethical sourcing claims. Now, the case and in the documents that have been filed, the key concern is in relation to two factories in the Xinjiang province in Western China, which is a known area of concern for forced labour, highlighted in United Nations reports. Now, this application to the federal court is requesting a series of documents, including non-compliance reports and also supply chain audits.
We are simply asking for preliminary disclosure of Kmart of their supply chains that are linked, could be linked to Uyghur forced labour in the Xinjiang region or East Turkestan. So we would like to know if Kmart, what they say as they're sustainable and they're ethical, we'd like to know that they are who they say they are. We'd like evidence to prove that their products are slavery-free, and especially Uyghur forced labour free.
That was Ramila Chenishev from the Australian Uyghur Women's Association. And as we've heard, this is under consumer law, and leading the case is Morris Blackburn solicitor Jennifer Kennis.
what we are really testing is that misleading and deceptive conduct part of it, in that we are saying that Kmart is making representations, that people in Australia are relying on those representations, and we want to test whether those representations are actually correct or whether they are, as we suspect, misleading and deceptive, misleading the Australian public in relation to the ethical nature or not of their products.
Brodman, has Kmart responded to these claims?
Yes, Roz, Kmart a short time ago has issued a statement saying it was disappointed by this legal action, that it is committed to human rights in its operations and its supply chains, and had invited the Uyghur group to meet. The company went on to say that it does publicly disclose its factory list and it has a 15-year-long ethical sourcing program.
Oh my goodie. What is going on with Kmart? Why is he still in Australia? That's a real question. Wait, Google, help me understand. Why is Kmart still in Australia? What is going on with Australians? Wait a minute. Why is Kmart still operating in, what's it called? Australia. Australia. Let's see. What does it say? It says Kmart continues to operate in Australia because it is a completely separate and independent company from the now defunct US Kmart owned by Wesfarmers. The Australian Kmart was a joint venture that became wholly Australian owned, and its success is attributed to its focus on everyday low prices, appealing what? Why does it say this like this? Appealing store experience, and they have a K-Hub micro stores. I was reading the K-Hub micro stores while I was reading something else. I'm like, what is K-Hub micro stores? What? My ADHD brain is going crazy right now because I'm really tired. I feel like you're getting a true picture of how my brain works. It's just going from thing to thing. I'm like reading something, but I'm reading something else at the same time. I don't know how I did that. Okay, let's see. K-Hub micro stores. Bar. Okay, let's see. My brain is going cuckoo. Let's see. I need to find this information. Where is it? There's nothing on Google. Well, that's not what I copied. K-Hub micro stores. Let's see. Is it just like little locations throughout different places? Give me a picture. Nope, no picture. Okay. Well, that's gonna be another tunnel of research that I'll look into. What is this? K-Hub format. Is this it? Well, that's anticlimactic. Our priority is to get these stores up and running so that people still have I can't even read anymore. People can still have easy access to the products they need. But keep an eye out. We have big plans to evolve the look and feel of these stores over time. Oh, nice. It's just a Kmart. It's just a Kmart. Okay, so this is in Cobran, Ujuka, and Symar in Victoria. What does it make it special? So it says K-Hub, the best of Kmart, just in a smaller package. Welcome to K-Hub, where you'll find the best of Kmart, plus everything you love from Target and Catch. Be ordered online and pick up right here. So it's a small Kmart where you pick up stuff. Okay. Well, that was boring to learn. I thought there was going to be more. And they're using forced labor for all this stuff, allegedly. Shouldn't they know better? Look at the US. It didn't go well for us. Save yourself before it's too late. If you go big, you go home. Quite literally. Okay. So I think that's actually I really want to cover. I think I can cover everything else and next time. The next live stream. Yeah, everything else I can cover next stream. It's just small stuff. Okay. So thank you for watching the stream. It's been 3 hours and 30 minutes of streaming. I worked today, so hopefully you enjoyed the quality, the personality. I keep stuttering, but that's just part of the appeal, I guess. And sorry for the mini crash out. I did have a mini crash out. I thought I was getting robbed. Had to step away for a long period of time. I was talking in the mic at one point, but I was on a call with someone else. So I think you guys thought I was just talking and you couldn't hear me. Another thing not to do on live stream. And then I want to say, don't stream after having a really intense day, because I almost started crying when I stepped away. Not a good thing. Not a good thing. But I really love live streaming, so I'm happy to do it. It's just I don't want to live stream when I work, but I do work Tuesdays, and I do work Thursdays and Fridays, which is all live streaming days. And I don't want to change my schedule. So I'll try to work through it, but yeah. I'll be back next Tuesday, 4 to 7 p.m. Central Time, yes. And then the next news live stream after that will be on Thursday. It should be Tuesdays and Thursdays, not Fridays. But I'll see you later. Take care and stay safe out there. Learn how to ride a horse. That's me talking to myself.